What's going on, you guys? How you doing? Welcome to Lapeef Let's Talk. Let me go ahead and get everybody else up in there. What's good, family? How y'all doing?
Hey, everybody.
All right.
What's goody? Shit, chilling.
Hmm.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, it's good to see you guys, man. Happy Thursday. Feel like I don't see you guys as much, but good to be here. As you guys come in, I do have a poll that's posted, so make sure you guys go ahead and vote in the poll. I will be reading those results throughout the show, and it may be in the poll halfway through the show. We'll see how it goes. Also, if you haven't already, hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and go and share the stream. That's how we get the broadcast out there and get more people into the audience. What's going on, Sir Shy? How you doing? Insane one was good. Christopher Matthews. Fit and Fit always the first one in. Good to see you. Pearl. Choosing red today. Is that violence or?
No, it's seduction.
Okay.
It's power.
Okay, power. Okay.
I don't choose violence. I'm a lover. What are we talking about here?
Okay, I got you.
Okay. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
All right. Shout out to all the mothers.
Girl.
Mother's
Oh,
Day.
thank you, Bo. Willie, you heard me.
Well, you on mute, just so you know.
Yeah, thanks for the smile. You ain't seen me in a
The
while.
heck out of that gum.
Okay. Well, with that being said, let's go get this show started. Tonight we're going to start off with Stefon Diggs. I know you guys are familiar with that situation. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time trying to solve the case. I just want to use it as a starting point for a bigger conversation tonight. We're going to talk about success, boundaries, power, and how dating rules change when status enters the picture. So that's what we'll be discussing. So I'm going to go ahead and play this clip, and then I do have a question for you guys that I'm going to run, and then we'll go ahead and get it started, all right? There we go. Actually, I ain't even got it queued up. You're taking a long walk. That's a journey there. Becky?
Yeah, it's a nice night in the city.
Okay.
Heading in.
Okay. You're walking like 8 miles or something. Like you're trying to race.
One city block feels like it. Jeez.
Like
That's literally all I've walked right now is one city block.
Like you're doing a charity event or something. Like you're trying to raise some money. Okay. Yeah, where's that video at? I hope I delete that damn video. Let me see. Give me 1 second, man. I might have to export it again. I may have deleted it. Feel free to start a conversation up to kill a little time to bring this up.
Chairs are back. FYI.
Did you say they're mad good?
Back in season.
Oh, they're back in season.
I'm waiting on the Rainier cherry.
It need to be warmer here in Jersey already. I'm so sick of this 60, 50-degree weather. I'm over it.
Well, I live in Satan's ball sack, so I'm going to take this weather as long as I can get it.
Trev, where's your glasses?
You want me to wear my glasses?
Yes.
I got some. Why?
I don't know. It just makes me feel comfortable.
if I wear my glasses, you feel comfortable?
I'm like looking at you and I'm like, where's his glasses? I'm used to seeing you with your glasses. Put them on, please. It's for the aesthetic.
So what you saying?
I like you wearing your glasses. That's it.
I'm gonna take mine off in solidarity with you, Trev. I can't see.
No negativity.
I'll stand with you for a second. But I really can't see.
I like that loyalty,
Yeah,
Mark.
really sissy.
Like that.
Damn. I don't know. Now I feel the type of way.
No,
You,
don't. I didn't mean to make
It's
you
too
feel no
late.
type of way.
You can't take it back. You can't take it
I'm
back.
sorry.
You can't
Okay.
rest your eyes for the broadcast. She over here tasking you with
I'm
a.
saying, like, damn.
I thought he
You can't-
needed them,
Not
and I
really.
felt like it added to his look.
But you
It's
thought I
part
was
of his
like,
aesthetic.
like I was Cyclops or some shit where I just can't function without the glasses.
No, not at all.
I
See, you
actually
trying
am
to put words in
Cyclops.
my mouth. I ain't saying nothing like that.
I actually am like Cyclops, Trev. Like I can't see your
Where
face at
are
all.
you?
It does look like line, like colored, like a watercolor paint, and I'm like right, maybe 2 feet away from this screen. It's
Damn.
you see nothing.
I don't know. I feel
Uh,
like when
is
you
this
guys wear
thing-
your glasses, it just adds to the look. Like
So you saying I
even
look
Jay
mid?
with her
I'm about
glasses
mid.
on right
I'm
now,
like
I
mid
like
right now.
it. She looks
So what
very
you saying? I'm like mid.
studious.
Thank you. I was
No,
going
no,
for the
Toya.
smart
We're
look.
not.
I love
We're
it.
not.
Thank
We're
you.
not going. We're not going away from this. So what you saying? I'm like mid now.
Oh, damn.
Oh my
You know he's
gosh,
sensitive.
Trev.
You know
That's
Trev is
not what I
sensitive.
said.
I'm sensitive.
Trev, listen, you don't have to worry about anything because you got a nice, healthy beard. Okay, that's all you got to worry about. That's it. You get a
A
pass
beard
on
is like makeup for men, right?
Whoa. Yo.
That's what they say.
So what? I got a BBL face.
If you think
BBL
Trev
face
look
is
handsome with his
crazy.
glasses, just say you look handsome
That's
with your glasses.
crazy work.
Damn.
right,
I don't know. I don't know how to feel now. And I'm sensitive now. Like, damn, what are y'all doing?
I'm sorry, Trev. I didn't mean it.
Y'all coming for me today.
I didn't come for you.
Hey, it's too late.
You look
Trev
very
got,
nice.
A series
I
y'all should
just-
check out without his glasses.
I
The first time I
it's
saw
a
him without the
thing.
glasses,
It's a
I
thing.
thought he looked like Styles P.
Oh shit! That's who you gonna give me, Styles P? For real, Marcus?
No, in the video, you don't look like Styles P now. In that video, maybe it was the camera angle. You don't look like him at all. But in that video, I forgot the name of it.
Styles P though? Damn, that's how you give me?
I told you this before. Like that's because I don't even think he had a beard either.
Wait, Trev, you think Styles ugly?
I don't
Now I
think I
gotta
look
go see
anything
what
like
Styles
Styles.
P looks
I'll go
like.
on record saying that. I'll go on record
I
saying
don't know
that.
if he a
Yeah, but they're trying to
I'm
trap
not,
you up.
I'm not really. Yeah, he trying to get me to judge a guy.
They're trying to get you
on
to
live.
judge.
We're
him.
not doing it, man. He trying to, no, I will never take the bait.
I got the video ready, man. I had to.
Thanks, JR. I
I'm
appreciate
sorry.
you taking so damn long for that. I just got grouped on. Pause.
I don't know what that's
Trev don't
about.
look nothing like Styles P. Sorry, I had to go look it
don't.
up. Mm-mm.
Okay. All
I
right.
was
As,
better
you,
than Styles P, right?
as I stated
You gotta
before,
see him without his glasses. I mean, without his beard. And the women say Styles attractive in the chat. So there you have it. Look.
I wasn't reading the chat. I try not to read the chat, but I'll read the chat right now. Hold up.
all right, as you guys come in, hit that like button again. I apologize for the inconvenience. I got the video queued up. So let's go ahead and hop into this Stefon Diggs, and then we're going to hop into the bigger discussion directly after we get immediate reactions. Here we go.
You say he smacked
He
you.
smacked me with an open hand.
Do you know which hand he used?
Right hand, right side of my
Do you know
face.
which part of your face got hit?
The right side of my face.
And then what happened?
And then he Can I have a second? Can I have a second?
Yes, you can. Yeah, you take a minute.
All right. When I went up to push his hand, like block him, block him, he took his arm and he like came around my neck with the crook of his elbow around my neck, and he began to choke me, pressure on my neck with his elbow.
When you were asked questions about what happened on December 2nd, you lied.
It did not change what happened on December 2nd.
I'm
It
gonna
did
try
not
my
change what happened on December 2nd. He choked and slapped me.
Ms. Adams, I'm going to try my question again. Because you didn't think it was important, when you asked the questions of Dedham Police Officer Ellis on December 16th, you lied.
I did not lie.
Food. And let's be real, y'all, that chef was serving more than just food to Stefon Diggs. If y'all saw those messages, you would see that she said, "And I'm out your life." Employees don't quit that way. Situationships do. So like I said, that chef was obviously serving way more than just food to Stefon Diggs. And that's why she had all of those feelings, all those emotions up on that stand. That wasn't a victim, I would say. Maybe she was a victim in like a heartbreak, maybe. But like, that's not a crime. Him breaking your heart is not a crime. She should have just taken that $100K and went about her life instead of worrying about the fact that he was messing around with other employees. Girl, that's not your man. What are you worried about him and his many other side chicks for? That should be Cardi's problem, not yours. And no shade, if she's cool with it, you should be too, sister. Once this footage came out, I knew she was losing this case. You supposed to be hurting, not dancing. At the end of the day, honestly, Stefon Diggs caused this problem. This is all because he can't keep it in his pants. Stop hiring people that you want to sleep with or have slept with. Let's start there.
I'm a lawyer, and I watched the full testimony of Chef Mila Adams in the Stefon Diggs trial, and here's what I have to say. Two things can be true at once. It can be true that Stefon Diggs did assault Chef Mila Adams, and it can also be true that she was an unreliable witness on the stand that was deemed uncredible and ultimately hurt the verdict in her own case. The point of a defense attorney is to make someone on the stand be unreliable and to impeach the witness. That is essentially what they did to Chef Mila on the stand. So her credibility was being lost when she reported things to the police that she did not include in her lawsuit. But are we really going to sit here and act like Stefon Diggs is some upstanding citizen who would not put his hands on a woman? No. So yes, do I believe that Stefon Diggs assaulted Chef Mila Adams? 100%. Do I also believe that she was trying to come up for money? Yes, I do. I think that she could have been smarter to report correct things to the police, the truth of her relationship with him, and reporting that immediately rather than waiting weeks. I think that could have helped her strategy in winning a civil lawsuit. And I also think that maybe she should have taken the $100,000 that he offered her, but lying on the stand and being an uncredible witness is ultimately what hurt her. And notice how the defense never mentioned the assault at all is because they were trying to distract and from the fact of that assault and impeach the witness.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. You saw the video. What was your first thought when you saw this story?
That she was lying. Okay, so let me just put the disclaimer out there. I'm not for DV, right? In any way, shape, or form. If somebody is assaulted in any type of manner, I would urge you to immediately go to any authorities, law enforcement agency, etc., right? But if you were watching that, oh my God, if you were watching her, I just feel like it was falsified recall and emotional triggering, because once the DA started to push and she got in that corner, she started to get angry. It's not how victims typically act. If I'm emotional, I'm going to stay in that because I'm emotional. I'm not going to get mad if you're steady asking me the same questions. I'm going to continue to answer those. I'm going to answer those in the same way because I'm telling the truth. Liars don't like when you keep asking them the same thing because they can't keep contorting their answers. That's what was happening with her. Now, personally, if I was Stefon Diggs, and maybe this is a segue to another conversation, you men got to stop sleeping with the women that work for you. Just stop doing it. I know it's some sort of fantasy. The maid is cooking for me. I find this attractive. Let me bend her over. Like, it's okay. So it's not going to work that way, right? Because it's almost like the Tiger Woods chick. When she was on the side, she was all good until she found out there were other side chicks. Like, I don't know why they think they're going to be a sad wife, but it's always that. Like, when they find out it's somebody else, now they want to go tell. No, but the man puts himself in that situation, sleeping with those type of women. Just Stop doing that again. But then again, on the other side of the women, like they sell themselves, because if he really hurt you, you would have just went to the police. I just feel like certain women sell themselves. And what I mean by that is if he did assault her, she still found it to be beneficial in some type of way to keep her damn mouth closed. Because ain't no man finna knock me upside my head and I'm just finna shut my mouth and keep coming back to work for him the same day and cook. What the fuck are we talking about? No, you're going to jail. But once again, right, if you're selling yourself and you all are having some sort of sexual relationship, that's clouding your judgment and your safety. And so now that it's not going in the manner in which she wanted, now she want to take him to court. Now she want to hit his pockets and doing all this dumb shit. Stop it. I think they're both wrong. But Stefon Diggs started it because you could have kept her in a professional role and just had her cook for you and go to hell home. I land.
I definitely agree with Miss Pearl. One of the things it's interesting to me looking at how she even communicates, her facial expressions. It's almost as if like she's dissociated and she's not comprehending. So I feel like there's no validity in anything that she's saying. Even if something was to be true, it's really hard to differentiate what is. And it's pretty sad, but clearly there's some type of like mental disconnect somehow. I mean, the most simplified question she couldn't even answer, like the most simplified. And then it's like you have to ask her multiple times in order for her to, and then she just has this like blank stare. So, which is a lot of times what happens. Like there's, they get into these relationships with these celebrities and then look what happens. Now you're, going crazy and, so she's definitely not credible. And it's sad because if something was to be true, no one would believe her, clearly.
But I think that's exactly the problem here. Like I don't know, maybe she assumed they were going to be in some kind of relationship, but baby, you're the help. Why did you think that it was going to be something more than that? And now that you're realizing that it's never going to be more than that, your feelings are hurt. So because your feelings are hurt, you're going to try to lash out and try to take this man down however you see fit or however you can. Because when he was going upside your head, it wasn't cool, right? It wasn't cool, but it wasn't cool. It was cool until it wasn't. And now that it's not cool no more, now you got a problem. Now you want to go to the police. Now you want to file a civil lawsuit. Now you want to do this. Where was all of that when this first happened?
Real quick, being a help doesn't mean nothing, though. Like as far as men and women are concerned, like if he like her, he like her. She just a dweeb. So
I get that. However, 99.99% of the time, that's not the case. So he may really like her, but that's not the case here either. So.
So nobody is going to say anything, and I'm not saying that anybody's wrong, but ain't nobody gonna say nothing about the fact that this nigga knows what type of money he makes, knows what type of profession he's in, knows what type of fame he has, and you are going to sleep with someone you know is too close to you. She's supposed to be your chef. She's supposed to be the help, which I really hate that y'all said that, but whatever. He knows how detrimental, he should know how detrimental mixing that would be. You don't shit where you eat. So nobody's going to hold the man accountable for being responsible for bringing all of this about, because he could have kept his dick in his pants or put it somewhere else and not this close to him. So a girl like her is going to do what she's going to do. It's up to him to not shit so close to where he's eating.
Bo, we was going to get there. We was going to get there, but right now we're holding the perpetrator accountable. But we'll get to the victim blaming soon. But one step at a time.
I think both of them are victims, honestly, of each other. So I'm not.
Yeah, I don't think they're victims. They both know what they're doing.
Facts. They both knew what they was doing.
Hey, I like
and he does need to be held accountable, because why are you putting your hands on women in the first place?
Wait, hold on.
So,
Where did that come from?
It didn't come from anywhere. This is what I like though. I appreciate we got to the victim blaming early. Like I'm glad that we started with this, because now I also get to point out that believe all women shit is bullshit now. Thank you, lady, for fucking that up for y'all. This chick is the Black Amber Heard. So the same shit that everybody talked about with Johnny Depp, and y'all doing the same shit now. So I appreciate you ladies for keeping the same energy. But Toya, I also appreciate you for doing the same thing that typical women do and start saying, well, he must have did what he said he did, even though that was never proven. What was proven was the bitch is lying. That's what was proven. You went off of what you believe personally. The same thing happened with Johnny Depp. I think that's dope. But to Ms. Pearl's point and the Bo's point, y'all got to forget that women control access to sex. So these women need to stop getting with these rich niggas and getting put on their payrolls and thinking that they gonna also get that nigga a bonus of some pussy. It's not on him to do any of that, because if he's paying her, he can do what the fuck he wants to with his employees. Stefon Diggs has proven time and time again that he has terrible taste in women. Look at who he has children with. Look at the last 3 women he's dated. That woman was coming to his house, which we saw on footage, with all of that ass out, them titties out, and she wasn't looking like no fucking Sunday school teacher when she showed up either. So you expect a nigga who literally will stick his dick in anything to not stick his dick in the girl who is filling up his stomach, as if I would assume that, well, at least Bo, I would think you can cook. Jay, Miss Pearl, I would assume y'all can cook. You know the fastest way to a nigga's heart is through his stomach, not his dick. And so now he got a chick that's bad and she's cooking. Of course he's gonna fuck her. Like, what are we Stefon Diggs literally sticks his dick in anything warm and moist. It's not a fucking football. Like,
I agree with that.
Right
However, when you sleep with somebody, you have to be a lot smarter. When you're a celebrity, you have all that money. You have to be mindful of what you do. You got to have some type of self-control, because you know that chicks like this who are looking for a payday are going to do this to you.
Every chick that Stefon Diggs fucks with is that woman. You would be that woman with Stefon Diggs, potentially. So just because
I ain't gonna look stupid up there. No,
no, I'm talking about looking for a payday.
I know what you're saying.
Anybody that fucks with an athlete is looking for some sort of payday, whether it be lifestyle or directly transactionally via her vagina. So it's not, nobody gets with celebrity just because, oh, they're great men, he's a good athlete. That bitch probably don't even know what position he plays. But I bet you know what his favorite position is. So, like, we can't act as if these chicks aren't getting with these niggas, understanding what the assignment was. If anytime a woman that I employ came to my house dressed like that, I know she's going. I know what type of time it is. I bet you that bitch was bent over in the oven, but the bitch wasn't even turned on, picking up imaginary pie she was baking. She was bent over, chopping up everything on the stove. She bent over what she was serving them. She walked around bent over, and probably even had some like knee pads for, like, I'm saying, for her fucking oven mitts.
No, she had hot dogs with mustard on them that were sitting there old looking. Okay,
listen,
that's what they said.
She could have made that nigga bologna sandwiches with all of that ass and the way she was dressed, acting. He was gonna fuck.
Why is it that this doesn't seem to ever? I mean, I guess you guys are trying to hold the woman accountable, but is it like impossible for a woman to engage in basic sex with a man of notoriety without having the same trope and the same story? Like, this is not even creative. She's heartbroken, her feelings are hurt. Now all of a sudden he throwing elbows and feet. It's just this seems to be the same. We're gonna hear this story again. It's gonna be another celebrity and another girl, and she's a victim. What are we missing as men? Because, you know, I think you ladies can help to educate the individuals who are on the upswing of their notoriety and progress. Because basically what you're saying is that sex, once you got the bag, is not the same as sex without the bag. That's what I'm hearing. Or am I just throwing things out there?
It's true. It's not. There's so much more at risk. You got to be smart. You got to think more. You got to like have more discernment at that point, because you have so much more to lose.
But what would discernment look like? We're talking like when you are, I'm not trying to offend you. When you're having sex, this is not a money nor status situation. This is a biological thing. Why do we share in that being different because someone is attached to progress? Like,
because
why is
that's
it
what a lot of
more?
times people are looking at. A lot of times women are looking for a payday from certain people. And I'm not saying that's the case, right? But I think that no matter what, any type of celebrity, I've been friends that I've known that dealt with celebrities, it didn't matter if they had 45 minutes with them or if they had some kind of relationship. It's almost like a mental come up. Like, oh, I get to put that on my belt. So I'm sure it was great for her to be able to, work for him and flirting around. She over here, certain women, they're gonna want that. They're gonna want to sleep with the celebrity that they're working with. But I feel like it's the celebrity or whoever to be mindful. Don't eat where I can't really say don't eat where you
don't shit where you eat.
So
because
you're saying that we gotta be so you guys are the predators then, is what you're saying.
Yes.
That basic that is that what we're saying?
I believe so.
Okay. Okay.
Why can y'all give us advice, but y'all don't take our advice?
Because they're women. That's why. And the shit doesn't make sense when it's being told to them because they just, they're women. That's how they are. Like,
because he has a lot more to lose. He's losing endorsements. Like he has a certain status, certain credibility. That's the reason why.
Y'all got more to lose.
Listen,
you ever heard of what is called femicide?
Listen, this is the crazy.
I hear what you're saying, but does she have endorsements that she's losing out on?
No, women in general have a lot to lose having sex with, just doing whatever you want with your pussy. You should be very careful.
No, I agree with that part, but I'm looking at like the realm of what's going on. Like, I'm not saying don't hold her accountable, but what I'm saying is somebody who clearly she's not mentally stable. When you have a certain level of status and money, that there are certain people who are not genuine who are going to come after what you have. That's just fact.
I think that he went through classes in college and in the NFL that taught him that there were going to be numerous different types of people, men, women, agents, strippers, pastors, family members, that was going to try and find out ways where they can extort money from him or hit him with emergency situations that he was going to always be responsible for. I think that he was sleeping with her since like before she became working for him. He met off IG and then brought her into the house and was giving her a place to stay and $2,000 or something for payment. And then she started acting up when another one of the women he had living in the house, he was, supposedly she allegedly believed he was sleeping with. Now, he should have probably, if he was going to have a harem, he shouldn't have involved it in a way where he shouldn't have done it, right? Whatever. He shouldn't have done it because he knew better. He knew that he was the one that he had something to lose, and whatever he was trying to do, that was not the way to go about that shit. And to your point, True, yes, she is a predator, and everyone who wants something because she's seeking it actively, and men will also actively become friends so they can predatorily prey on the NBA homeboy, a little brother or big brother who gets this money because they have plans for it. They see that success as something they can latch on to and extract resources from until that person has nothing. Essentially, when the old people was in the NBA, like before they start doing like financial education and like collective bargaining, all the new stuff that's come out, people was going broke within like 5 to 10 years of leaving the league because they were keeping up what they call like posses or like crew, like they'll move 16 people into their mansion and go out and party every single night. You know what I'm saying? And when that person not there, the homies that had a car, they in a Bentley driving around, got access to the credit card. They can go ball out. They bring girls back. He get in trouble, drunk driving. Now you got to pay to get your car back, and you got to pay his lawyer fees because he don't got no money. He essentially just your assistant, and it's all type of scenarios. He not like an average nigga that's just walking around like, these women just gonna catch you slipping and extract resources from you. Bro, you got millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. To some extent, you got to believe everybody, down to even your mama, is looking to get your ass because it's just a reality of what this world is.
I think that's fair, Marcus, like what you're saying, and we using him as a catalyst, but this is not an uncommon thing. Like there's women blaming, like most women always know somebody that got their eye punched out, whether the dude got notoriety or not. So it always seems that there is some type of, I don't know if it's a revenge plot. I don't know if it's the way that they're coping, but the relationships nowadays don't just get broken up without her having to get back. and it being legality tied to it. Whether the dude got a bag or not, all these women seem to be punched out, drop kick, all of a sudden. So it's like, what are we telling men now on how to deal with women?
Wait.
Whether you rich, whether you know,
So
your regular
we
dude.
saying that everybody got beat up?
You've been on the panel for the last month and a half. You telling me you ain't heard women say, "Oh, I know a friend that you don't know if he was beating on her." Like, this is a common thing. Y'all all know somebody who get punched out or choked out on a regular
But
basis.
is that our fault or is that a man thing?
Who's blaming about fault? Like, what are you doing?
I just not believing that men are
I'm
out here
trying to figure out
strong-holding.
what the point of it was.
Wait, are you saying, True, you don't believe that, according to statistics, what is it, 1 in 4, like, or 20%, somewhere around there, of people are in domestic violence situations?
Yeah,
Or
no, I don't believe that.
True.
I don't believe that.
True. Listen. This is the thing, right? You actually got to understand how to interpret the data in these stats before we quote them. And to be fair, 1 in 4 women will likely be a victim of some sort of domestic violence in their lifetime. However, what they're going to leave out conveniently is that includes all types of domestic violence, not just physical. There are like 8 different types of domestic violence. But if I hadn't said that, nobody would have told you that. And then 2, we also can't forget that typically women are the more violent in relationships. Given 44% of lesbian, the carpet munching couples have domestic violence in them. 44% compared to you want to be the extreme with men, pole smokers, like two dudes, like 24% of them have domestic violence occurrence in a relationship.
Willie, do those statistics take into account if the woman hit him first?
Bro, don't do that. I got it. You fucking up my argument. I got you. I'm gonna bring it all back to that. So then 2, what that should tell you is 2 things. 1, that women use statistics all willy-nilly to support their point and won't give you the entire picture unless somebody challenges them. And then 2, in relationships, women are the more violent of the 2 sexes. To Mont's point, no, they don't care who hit who first. It's about who was found guilty of domestic violence. So even if BK punched True in his shit and then he punched her back, but she called the police first, she don't hit hard, so he don't have no scratches, and the police take her side, remove him from the home, go to the court and testify that they saw her with her shit split, True he's going to be the one that gets charged, because in domestic violence court, there is not a requirement of a preponderance of evidence. It's up to what the judge thinks and what the judge believes. So they don't have to say, well, there's video, or they don't have to request that stuff. It's based on the conversation and what they hear in the court that day. So that's why I tell people, you don't hit bitches you're in a relationship with, you hit the ones you're not with, because domestic violence and assault have 2 different fucking levels of burdens of proof. So you smack somebody you're in a relationship with, you're going to jail. You smack somebody that you're not in a relationship with.
So it's seeming like the women are just really, really dangerous to date for your regular dudes, your status dudes. It's seeming like this is a battlefield beyond words, because whether you got money or don't got money, if you a man and you involving yourself with a woman of today, you don't even need proof. She can just wake up and be like, I don't like him no more. He hit me. And it could, this is what it's seeming like that the landscape is. And then, like Toya is saying, or even BK is saying, like, you don't believe that. I don't know what it is to see that as a regular occurrence. And if it's that dangerous to involve yourself with men, then why are women actively still trying to date dudes if their life is in danger?
Well, True, that's not even fair to ask them, because you got to ask them why the hyena bitches are still trying to date men.
Because they live on the wild side.
So I want to say this: when a woman is involved with a man, whatever type of man that is, she feels like her kitty is currency and she is entitled to pretty much a share of whatever it is he has, right? Whether that be 20%, a lot of people think 50%. So if he's a billionaire, her kitty would be worth $500 million in that particular situation. And when you try to break it off, they don't feel like they got what they want, then they're going to do whatever they can possibly do to redeem what they feel that they are owed. So once they're in a deficit, they're going to try to get back. However, so no matter if you don't have anything, then they're going to get it back in blood, right? Whether they ruin your life, whether they call your job, show up at whatever, just to ruin your life. That's the whole thing. Until they feel like they are avenged, then that's just what it is. You can't. So I think that the lesson is when you decide that you're just going to deal with these weirdos and firecrackers, because dudes are going to do it, right? If she got a fatty, dude's going to hit it. It is what it is. But you have to know how to hit it. I would love to say stop dealing with these women. But as you can see time and time again, this shit is not happening. It's not happening. So dudes are going to do it. So what you need to learn to do is how to parachute a woman versus giving her a free fall. What you need to do is protect yourself via text, via video, whatever that you have within your capabilities. Use technology to cover your ass. You have to make it so it's extremely difficult for her to build a case on you. You have to treat every particular woman as if she's going to build a case on you. Like Willie said, you never really met a woman until you see her in a divorce court, right? Or when you're about to break up. As soon as you decide that this is it, then and they don't feel like it was it for them, then they have to get you. It's as simple as that. And your only defense is to be proactive about it. You can't try to scramble now after she has all this information, because she's been planning this shit. She's been insulating herself the entire time while you have not. So you're always at a great disadvantage unless you are proactive about it. So dudes, when you go ahead and smash these weirdos, these women who you ain't got no business putting your stuff in, you're going to go ahead and do that? Cool. Protect yourself first.
Yeah, I don't like.
Why don't you all just avoid the damn landmine, or
because it's
like
too
where
many
it's poison? Why would you put on a hazmat? Just don't go there. I know you say they're gonna do it anyway, and they are. They're stupid. They're gonna make there's stupid choices. Why are we even bringing them to the conversation? This is like cute prostitution. That's what it sounds like to me. Like women are selling themselves, and men are like, okay, this is just our normal hooker John exchange. These are not traditional connections and relationships, and you all are not going to sensationalize, glamorize them that it is. Women who sell themselves get exactly what they deserve. Case in point, we just saw the video. The men who choose those weirdos, those women, they ain't got no business doing what they doing. They get exactly what they deserve. They're not victims because they're willing participants. So they do what they do. Oh, well. But my question is still, if you know you're going to get burned, why the hell you keep touching the stove? I'm biologically predisposed to do that.
Miss Pearl, you're saying it from a woman's standpoint, but I guess you, and I can't expect you or any other woman to understand how we're biologically wired. It's different, right? We are compelled to fuck. Sorry, it is what it is. When we see something that we like, we want to stick it. That's just what it is. And a lot of men will try to virtue signal and say they're better than that, but they're liars. Straight up. They're liars. We want to hit. That's what it is. And most people can't resist that. There's a lot of practice. There's a superb amount of discipline that you couldn't understand.
Thank you.
I keep trying to tell women, if you don't understand that shit is like 10x, it is like 10x what you feel. Just think about the hottest you ever got in your life, right? Like you was really on for somebody. 10x that shit, and then imagine that happening to you every day. That's a fucking man's world. That's what you got to understand. And until you get that part of it, you will never get it. You will keep asking these questions about why men do this, why men do that. This is why they do that, because our dick compels us. It's as simple as that.
Thank you. All right, so listen. It's not that I don't understand. I find it nonsensical, and this is why I'm saying this. So you telling me that you biologically predisposed to give up your safety just because she got a fatty? You don't know what she got going on with her. But in your mind is, I'm gonna stick it in and figure out the results and take the pill. Okay, so thank you for saying that. So now can we just wait? No, thank you. I love that. I wanted you to thank you. So can we now conclude that women are the more logical ones? Because if we are not, and we're giving you access, when we be the ones to calm you down and stop you and help you step your game up, because you just out there sticking your dick willy-nilly. So it would be the woman with that chastity belt that make you step your game up and make you want to do what you still gonna do it anyway, but for the right particular woman who is not giving herself to you, you're going to present yourself in a different type of way and carry yourself in a different type of manner, because that woman is forcing you to do that if you want access to her. Because if she was just a low-hanging fruit and we all were that, then you wouldn't have to work and have any standards or expectations for anything, because we would all just be giving it to you, because that's how we all get at. So it's like, I get what you're saying, but at some point, people got to be real and stop just being reckless. And if they're not, and this is what it is, then stop bringing them a part of the conversation, because I'm tired of talking about them. They're reckless, they're stupid. Like, is it all men, 100% of you guys, or do some of you guys actually grow up?
I would say this. I don't.
So you can stop using
I
that
want
as
to
an
see who's
excuse.
a liar. I'm gonna tell you, every single man on this panel the smashing chick he wish he
It's not
didn't.
about being a
He
liar.
wish he
It's
could
about a
take his
man
dick
using
back.
discernment
I
and not.
guarantee.
No.
Well, what I'm telling you is that every single man on here wishes they could take their dick back at least 3 times in their life, right? That's probably really, really, really lowballing it. But we all wish we could take our dick back from somebody, but we can't, right? Every single one of us, unless somebody wants to be a liar tonight. That's just what it is. And I just feel like you still missed the point. You, Mom, right? I expected you to say that shit, but
Mom, we know you
but
have.
real talk.
You
Yeah,
told us about the
come on,
girl
Mom.
that was walking to the corner store, and you tapped that. You told us already. Thanks.
This
We at least
is-
got you for one. Thanks.
this
Anyway,
is the problem.
never mind.
Only
Okay,
that
you
girl that
lied,
tricked
right.
me in the snatch
Now
is the only one
you're
I'll
right,
take
saying
back.
you do
Everything
drugs.
else.
No, okay.
So this is the
Okay.
problem when we
I
try to
land.
use one instance and one facet in life to say that all the women are better at men at anything. Women are never and will ever be more logical than men. As long as they are breathing, it's not possible because they're driven by their emotions. Everything about a woman, her life and her outcome is
And
going to
you're
be
driven by
determined
your
her-
dick. Next.
Yeah, if only that made like
Actually,
that
that's not true scientifically.
Knock it off.
So it's crazy how we try to like. I understand now. I guess when the people picking up new talking points and they want to like big up women, but there's nothing that can be said to make women seem more logical about anything. Women are more selective sexually because they can
You can't
be
just
the same way that
you have
men
to
are
work
more
for it. That makes me more logical. Thank you.
relationships too. So men will fuck hoes. We don't marry hoes. We don't marry hoes. Women will fuck niggas that they wouldn't want to marry on a higher clip than men will because again, we are the ones who control access to marriage. So women trying to use the one thing that they leverage to say,
And
"Oh,
you
you
all
know
still
what?
marry
Yeah,
hoes.
we're more." Well, let's okay. So
What are we talking
let's say that was true,
You
Miss
still
Pearl.
marry hoes. What are we
Hey,
talking
stop.
about?
So let's say you know what hoes do that good women also do. Y'all fuck without being in relationships. So I will say this
But
that
they don't
everybody
hold
on
you
the-
down, and that's the one that's being put right now.
everybody
That's
on
not a
the
good
panel
woman, and that's what
has
y'all
fucked
get.
somebody without
What are
being
we
in a
talking about?
relationship, and that's hoe behavior. So if he who was without sin cast the first stone. So since now we're talking about being logical, let's also talk about being honest. One thing men are up here is honest. It's always a woman who's trying to tell us that we're wrong about how things go for us. We're wrong because of how we feel, as if
I didn't say you were wrong.
as if they've ever been a man, or for the majority of them don't have one. So they don't even get to learn vicariously about how men are. They don't get to wake up day to day dealing with a nigga. They don't get to come home, go to work, and have somebody at home wait for them so they can see them in all these different facets. Or they don't have someone who was honest enough for them to even tell them, like, hey, listen, I'm a dude. Sometimes, I love you, but I see a bitch with a fat ass. I think about it sometimes. They don't have men to have these conversations with, so all they can talk from is what they think about what men do instead of listening to the ones that actually have the conversation who deal with it every day.
Pearl, I wanted to rebuttal your point about not touching the stove. I think that's like you just get equipment. That's how that works. Like we still got to cook, right? We still got to use the stove. We just figure out how to do it better safely. It's a lot of things we like to do safely. Driving is can be dangerous. Flying a plane can be dangerous. That's how we do it safely. Put on a seatbelt, right? Ride a motorcycle. You just gotta do it the right way. Ain't no point in like staying. You don't gotta stay all away from it. Just do it safely.
I think sex for women is like marriage for men. I think that's the only equivalent.
You tried it,
Well,
Mom. It's not gonna work. I stand on what I said. I'm sorry, True.
But it's a fact.
You're good. I think that's the only equivalent we can use that maybe it'll make more sense because it's almost a pointless argument to be different biologically and try to get y'all to understand what Trev has expressed, what Marcus has expressed, what myself. It is just vastly different. But just like men don't go out marrying every girl he interacts with, it's the same with you guys. Y'all covet the exchange of sex. It is that valuable, or at least it should be, right? It's the same equivalent for us on a status level. We don't marry every damn woman. It's the same equivalent. So I don't know if you can disassociate your emotions. If you can put it in that framework, I think it's easier to digest because it would be foolish for a man to every woman he meet to get down on one knee and make that woman his wife. Y'all treat sex the same way. That's the selective part that Willie is trying to, convey. And I don't know why it's a disconnect. It's almost like you guys don't grasp that we're vastly different. It's
because they're not logical, they're emotional. Anybody logical people would understand what we just said and be like, well, damn, the logic is sound. but the emotion, like it's kind of like this. When you get a woman emotional, like her amygdala like calcifies, and any type of shit you say that she don't like or doesn't identify what she's talking about is combative and it's offensive. So it's not as if we're saying something that logical women wouldn't understand. Like that's not what we're saying. Even I would say, excuse me, logical gay dudes still get this. But again, the common denominator between that logic is the fact that it's men.
Pearl trying to make us drive in minivans for the rest of our lives. We want Ferraris, Pearl.
What you say?
You trying to make us drive minivans
What
for the
you
rest
say?
of our lives. We
I'm
want
gonna make you drive in
Ferraris.
a minivan for the rest of your life.
That's what you want us to drive minivans because they're the safest. But no, we want a Ferrari. We just gonna learn how to drive them right.
But y'all can't drive one. That's the whole point of this conversation. With Stefon
Oh,
Diggs.
okay. So you want something that's fast and unsafe, and
He-
here I am
he
being
didn't put his
logical, wanting
seatbelt
you to
on.
be safe.
He didn't-
But I'm not logical at
Stefon
all.
Diggs
You
don't
gonna
wear
get
his
the Ferrari?
seatbelt.
Strap up, boo. No, you got it. You got it. Get that Ferrari. You got it, boo.
He
Be
don't
safe.
wear his seatbelt. That's
Wear
the
your seatbelt.
problem. We just trying to tell him how to drive it
got it.
safely.
Miss Pearl, we tried to have this conversation for 4 or 5 years,
It's so
longer than
crazy.
that, right? And the thing that like it was this post I ran across that kind of like explained it the best way I've seen it explained, and it was unintentionally. It was a transitioning female to male, right, or to appear as a man, and they had them on like testosterone hormones and all this stuff. What she described was that the way her body changed sexually and the desire for sex was one of the most annoying and worst things she felt because she no longer could operate. She was obsessed with sex and she would like, try and relieve herself multiple times a day. We exist at a testosterone level that you don't understand unless you get hit with a dosage of something that puts you in that mind. And once you experience it, you're like, I understand why they operate like that from this point forward. We can see a small, like you can look on comment sections, right, of a woman, just any woman doing anything. If she's shapely, as soon as you open that comment section, the first thing you're gonna see is, oh, man of culture, we meet here. And then the entire, she could be selling tires, she could be trying to sell dishwashing gloves, she could be trying to do anything under the sun. As soon as men see a shapely woman or a woman that they think is attractive, everything goes out the window and it's just a conversation about how beautiful or how whatever, you know what I'm saying, how that make men feel. From you, if a woman walk past, men immediately turn it. We are just biologically wired differently when it comes to this. Now there could be women that have extremely high sex drives and that feel like, I want to have sex a lot too. It's completely different than Lily Phillips is probably the best example of really how this play out. That it's a woman who I think she had like 1,000 men line up to have sex with her.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's disgusting when you think about it. Like that's extremely disgusting. You going after 99, 100, 200, 400, 500, 700, 800, 900, 999 men stick their penis in this woman and the man still stuck wait outside to do it to her. We are just different. And
That ain't nasty.
when we
That's
try to like
logical.
squash that and pretend men are just the exact same as women and all that, it kind of like it becomes a disingenuous conversation where we can't really honestly explain like that's disgusting. But it also speaks to like kind of how male nature is. Like I'm not advocating for, I'm saying that's a reality though. And it ain't one type of man, it ain't just black men, it wasn't just white men, it wasn't Asian. It was all different types of men. It was men that ski mask to hide they was trying to hide who they are so they can go and just go. We are just vastly different. And like if we can't acknowledge that, we can't have real conversation. You're supposed to be asleep.
So let me ask. So what's the male version of a hyena? Let's just gonna call y'all. What can we call y'all?
So hold on.
What's the male version of a hyena? Because I know every man on the planet wasn't trying to hit her. Like some men just.
Before we go ahead, we gotta get Becky and Bo in there real quick. They didn't get a chance to really go ahead. I know you was trying to jump. Go ahead.
I just be trying, but okay. Let me start by saying I completely understand what you all are saying biologically. I am smart enough to understand that testosterone affects a man's sex drive much more than a woman. I know that. Great, good. But what this is, at this point, with you all using this as an excuse, is weaponized incompetence. You are giving in to something that you know is true. So instead of setting up a system, something that you can do to help you stay out of stupid ass situations, you would rather be like, I mean, it's biology, because we be wanting it 50 times a day. And if a woman giving it up, I'm going to take it. Okay. You can get with a woman, right, that wants to have sex with you, and you can be in a relationship with her, bam, you have sex. Or you can do something else. I get it. I get that it may be hard. There are a lot of nymphomaniac women out there that know your pain, and they still somehow, some way, learn how to work with it. Because I know someone that's a nymphomaniac. It is not me. But you know what she did? She got married. And she fucked on that man until the day he died. So I'm just like,
You saying what we just said. Miss Pearl was saying cold turkey, don't put on a hazmat, don't put things in place, just stay away, right? We saying
you can
no,
also do that, because there
let's
are
go
men
about
that
it
do
the smart
that
way.
as well. There
Yeah.
are my ex-husband is the one that came to me and was like, I'm not having sex until I get married. And I'm like, well, okay. How is it that some men can do this, but y'all are like, I mean, it's biology. I'm just gonna stick my dick wherever it goes. Right?
What I'll tell you, Bo, your logical approach to it in theory makes sense. The thing you're not accounting for is this, again, is theoretical. When we do this, what you're saying, it always is going to supersede the woman. I don't know if this is discipline. I don't know if it's biology, but this is the idea that you're saying, just get a woman and then have all the sex you want. It never goes that way, because realistically, most women don't have that type of drive, connection, or energy. Y'all need naps on a regular basis just to deal with your regular day. Then you incorporate all that stuff, and now you're talking about setting aside 2 to 3 sessions for me to get what I need off. That's just not how that works, unfortunately. So a lot of the times that's the disconnect as well. And then you say, okay, well, you know what? Well, let me go ahead and bring a girl that's going to assist you to do your job. And then it becomes, oh, well, no, I don't want to share. I don't want to violate the union. But the reality is, if we're being honest, it's always going to be more than one woman. That it's energetically is what I'm saying.
Bo, can you be with a man that want to get on top of you 3 times a day?
Hell
You just
yeah.
was telling us how you don't like it.
So wait, hold on for a second. Before we let Bo off the hook, Bo, what's the difference between an excuse and an explanation?
An explanation is something that just explains the situation. You're just explaining to someone how this works. An excuse is you're giving up any other option and just saying, well, that's just how it is.
So cool. I understand why you said it now, but that's not accurate. An explanation explains the reason for something, and an excuse explains the reason and then also avoids accountability. For example, I'm late because of traffic. Reason, I'm late because of traffic, so it's not my fault. Excuse. None of us gave an excuse for why men are the way we are. We explained to you logically how we are and why we are the way we are. We didn't excuse Stefon Diggs for what he did. We just explained to you why it happens at such a high clip, because men are biologically wired to be that way. That is the reason. Now, we're not saying that there's no excuse for what he did, because he's fucking stupid. Like, you worth all that fucking money and you fucking with somebody you paying. You might as well just pay someone to fuck. If that's the case, you can get an escort cheaper than that $100,000 you gave for the lawsuit, and you could have spread that shit out over time. The fact that M. White gave you an example where it was 1,000 dudes in line to fuck the same woman, they waited their turn. Logically, that should show you that literally a lot of men are exactly what we said they were. Do you know how long that line was? Like, a dude could have beat his meat, got post-nut clarity, and got out that motherfucker and went home. Like, there's no way I could be in line watching somebody hit this white chick that's built like a little boy, and then be like, you know what? I can't wait till it's my turn. I'm dick number 635. What? Like, the kung fu grip works at that point. There's no reason to stand here. But the fact that you know and can verify that 1,000 men did it tells you everything that we're saying is true. We don't excuse the shit. No one was like, well, 1,000 men did that because they couldn't get sex with somebody else, so it's not their fault. That's the excuse that we would have made. But no one made that. We just explained to you and gave you the reason for why we are the way we are. A lot of times we notice that women, especially parents, conflate excuses and reasons. And if nothing else, just understand that an excuse is going to remove the accountability of that person. An explanation is going to add context and behind the why. If you never forget that again, that'll make understanding man significantly easier.
Do you know how hard it would be to find 1,000 women to do that? Like, that's a dummy mission.
You don't think Stefon Diggs and other people have slept close to that though? So it's not really hard to find it. The motivation is just different. The richest men can sleep with that many women if they really wanted to.
Not at one time. Like, compare the actual thing. It was 1,000 niggas in line. It's not 1,000 women lined up to fuck Chris Brown. Even if
definitely are. Wait, don't use Chris Breezy. I bet you any amount of money.
There has never been a line where Chris Brown fucked 1,000 girls who were waiting on him butt ass naked with their shit out, waiting on somebody else to hop on. It never has happened.
He could find them.
It's never happened. So, like, if anything,
the reality of it is that the same way.
I'm saying that
it could probably happen though.
Bullshit.
But the point you're missing is that's an extreme case of one man. We're talking about an average woman and regular ass men just doing this. Average women are not going to stand around for an average man and wait for 1,000 women to come sleep with him after.
That took 12 hours, by the way, for Bonnie Blue to.
Well, let's do some math then. Let's divide 1,000 by 12 hours. So 12 times 6, that's 720 minutes. So what? Wait, 12 times. Yeah, wait, hold on. She fucked 1,000 niggas in 12 hours. So they got like one stroke apiece.
She said she was mad that she didn't allow all of them to bust because she didn't have enough time, so she didn't satisfy everyone. And the next time she do it, she gonna make sure she allows these men to come.
I don't believe that there's been a rich nigga in history that's fucked 1,000 women in one day. Now, understanding that we do know that some of y'all would wait in line to fuck Chris Brown and mind your business. No judgment here. I don't believe that there is a man breathing right now that has said, you know what? Go fetch me 1,000 bitches. I'm going to stay here with my dick hard. And they're all going to hop on, hop off one time. That shit doesn't happen.
Without money involved, without money being involved.
Even with money involved, I don't believe it's happened because like the largest reverse gangbang, so I heard, was like 82 women. So again, I don't believe that, 82 is equal to 1,000. But you notice how when we have these conversations, they compare what a woman does to something that a man could or should do. So like they say something that's possible, because they want to argue the point. Not so then that way to pull, I'm saying, weight of validity from what that woman did. Bonnie Blue fucked 1,000 niggas. Allegedly, Stefon Diggs has probably been with 1,000 niggas in his lifetime. The difference is we were talking about someone who did it in one day, and then the comparison for the men was, well, you don't think Stefon Diggs has done that in his life? Like the goalposts get shifted a lot of times when women talk about man issues. This is typically the only time y'all do it this way. But for it to be moved egregiously, it's like y'all didn't move the goalpost, y'all moved the 50-yard line.
Well, naturally, a woman can take vagina can take more penises than penis can take vagina.
That's crazy.
I wouldn't.
That is incorrect.
Well, I'm just looking at the whole.
I'm not gonna hold either one.
Like orgasm piece. Like you guys are kind of like
I don't think that a nigga can keep his dick hard for 12 hours. I don't. But without medication.
An orgasm is not necessary for the actual exchange.
You can squeeze lube in a vagina. You can squeeze lube in a vagina, and then it can still happen if you have a hard dick. You can't squeeze a soft penis and you roll it and fold it to stick it in the vagina. That's my whole point.
Yes, you can.
How long before y'all start?
Listen, Travis, that's what you.
I don't have anything to add to that
That's
conversation.
what you do. Your experience. Cool. Okay.
I just said it's possible, right?
That's
Never mind. I'm gonna leave that shit alone. Keep going. Keep going.
Yo, you said you could what? Never mind, Trev. Never mind, bro.
I guess I never understand the whole discipline part of it. I think that's
Gummy
where,
worms, never heard of it.
Oh yeah, I guess that's where my ears kind of like perk up, because it's always this like discipline trope. Like, oh, if he's disciplined, he refrains.
It's virtue.
Well, yeah, I don't think we get enough credit for the fact that just our pure, like our just entire flow of things, whether it's sexual or not, men are all often acting in decorum. Like the way we interact with other dudes just on a hanging out is way more boisterous. It's way more energetic. A lot of times there's an exchange. When y'all around, we tone it all the way down because of, the sensitivity factor and all of the little emotions and the consideration, all the crap you got to dealing with women. But y'all don't see that because it's almost like a code switch. It's just natural. We just soften, and we're trained that way. But it's like the moment when a dick is out and it's not his woman, then he's undisciplined. I don't know where that comes from. We never hear this about women who throw their box around though. She's not lacking discipline. We never say that. I just wonder why.
A woman's number one currency is attention. A man's number one, like that he receives, is sex. I guarantee you, more men turn down sex than women turn down attention. I would bet and if anybody wants to try to, I'm telling you, I'm gonna cook you and it's gonna embarrass you. So have that conversation in the back chat. There are too many women, even those of y'all who don't post your ass online, that you post every day. Your face is in your story every day. You're not turning down attention because you're seeking it daily. Dudes are out here, they're not guys who can get sex on a regular basis by simply just not going to take advantage of that, have the leg up when it comes to discipline, as far as that's concerned. Because we know we could be out here hitting you, her, them, that group of friends, and these sisters, but we don't. Y'all know that if you post something, you're going to get attention, but instead of saying, you know what, I don't need the attention today, you still post it. You post it constantly. You post every day, even in your story, you're posting it. Women don't turn down attention. Men do turn down sex because, unfortunately, I would say a lot of big bitches try and fuck Trev because he's a tall dude and he looks strong, but that might not be Trev's cup of tea, so he turns them down. However, I would bet money that none of y'all have been like, you know what? I haven't posted. I've been posting too much. Let me stop posting because all this attention, this free attention I'm getting is bad for me. And I should be disciplined about who I seek attention from and who I value attention from. That sentence has never crossed your mind before.
For the record, I'm not a chubby chaser.
Oh no, I wouldn't put that on your jacket, bro. I was just saying.
I'm not saying you. That's what you were saying, but I know what you said, but I know what they heard.
Fact. Okay.
Anyway,
right.
Discipline is extremely attractive in a man. Now, I get it. I get what you're saying, True, but I think that men completely underestimate how, to a quality woman, how attractive a man withholding that. Like, I don't want a man that wants to give it to anybody. That don't make me feel special. Just like I'm not going to give mine to just anybody because that don't make me special to him. Right? So, like, I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna take. I don't know what it takes for y'all, like in real time. Like theoretically, you know what I'm saying? I can get it. But
I'm sorry, I thought you were my fault.
I was just gonna say, like, it is majorly attractive. Like, I am more attracted to a man who is selective with what he does with his body.
I think, and that's fair. I respect that. I think that is something you may do, but that's where it becomes. I don't know if catch-22 is the right like tagline or trope to it. That only works when a man has what women deem valuable, attractive, successful. He has the ability to attract, right? So it's almost like he can have the pussy. He can get it anywhere he go. That man gets respect for discipline. But most men are by default disciplined because lack of access. He don't get the same level of I guess respect and notoriety. It's kind of like maybe dudes do it, I don't know, but a pretty girl who's a very, very attractive woman with character and morals, and she's nice. You know, most dudes are kind of like, well, yeah, damn, she bad and she's sweet. I think it's the same on y'all end. You don't care if he's not that guy with discipline. You only care if you know he could be out here knocking them down, like Willie said. So that man gets an extra layer of respect from you because the mere fact is you're aware of his abilities, almost like he's a superhero in some form, and he's just not abusing it. So I don't know if that's a fair, I don't know if it's fair. That's the trick to it. Because most dudes, if they get a Bo, or they get a BK, or they get a Toya, a J, they lock in. They not really worried about most girls, but that's I don't know. That's the part about y'all that is so tricky. It is only when you've deemed him that guy, and now you're like, all right. And I think that's actually mean, or maybe not mean is the word. I think it's audacious. Women want the greatest of us to minimize us. That's the part that is just, it blows your mind. Like a pretty girl, you're like, we expect her to take pictures. We expect her to take advantage of it. Y'all don't expect us to do the same, though. Like, women hate to see men happy, have access, and be able to actually expand their abilities. This is where all this energy comes from. You see it with the Meg Thee Stallion situation, all of it. That's where it's coming from. How dare he not have discipline?
You know,
Go
I
ahead,
actually agree
Pearl.
with that. I agree with that. And you know what? Somebody brought that to my attention the other day. I was having a conversation and they said, yes, we know that men and women are wired differently, but women, like men, don't get enough credit for the discipline that it takes for them to stay on the straight and narrow and make sure that they are solely faithful. Like, even though we're wired that way, it's like as soon as they slip up, then it's like, oh well, they ain't shit, whatever. But I actually sat there and thought about it, and I'm like, well, that is kind of true. And I'm not saying that, okay, well, women deserve credit too, or but it's just like, being as though you guys are wired that way, it does take a lot of discipline to be able to know that, okay, this is going on over here. Let me move this way so I don't get tempted. I'm not seeing something and put myself in a situation. Now I fuck up my whole relationship, something that I built. So, I can rock with you on that.
If a guy who, the average dude, gives his girl $100, it should mean more than if a rich nigga gives his girl $100, because that $100 to that average nigga means more. It's the same thing. Like, but cool, whatever. You know what else is super audacious? That so many women feel like they should have the best of us as men all to themselves, because what that should mean is that you've done the work to also be the best of women, which we all know isn't true. So to think that you're gonna go get your dream dude and then you be the only one that has access to him, I'm understanding now why, again, there's so many decent looking, attractive women that are single, because everybody wants one of their own. Like, y'all want the same dudes, but then don't want to share one, but then don't want to do the work to not have to share one, to be a woman that man would want to commit to exclusively. Like, y'all okay being the 70 to 80, but forget that this nigga is 100%, so he expects 100. So just because you're 80, he might go get 5 here, 10 here, 4 here, 6 there, and you still be the 80. And I'm seeing a lot of that now. Like, just being in these panels is crazy how, like, that epiphany just struck me. Because what I am seeing is the women who understand men's nature are the ones that have men that are at least prioritizing them, making them at least their number one. And instead of, they're not like out here like, well, I'm single by choice, which, that's not true. You're all single by your circumstances. And I think that the more women embrace the math behind it and then understand that in life you only get what you deserve, the better you guys will be.
Ladies, I don't second that. I think that you can be with a man and he commit to you, even if he got money and all that type of stuff. I don't.
Dun, 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 dun.
But I don't think that's what I
Come
don't think
on,
that was
man.
what you're saying.
Yeah, that's not what I said at all.
What he was saying.
Maybe I didn't hear it properly. My bad.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that the best men, and we're not saying that a man having money makes him the best. It's one of the things, right? But for a woman's dream man, if she's not his dream woman, to expect him to just be with her is audacious. It's entitlement. It's almost delusional. Because why would that man be with a woman who, as these women they didn't fight when I said they're at least going to be the 80. Nobody said, well, I'll be 90 for him or I'll be 100 for him. I'll do the work to do those things. They just took the 80 because that's good enough for them. Why would that man have to settle for a woman who is less ideal for him than he is for her? So when women accept that and either one, do the work to become that man's dream woman, they're going to have to share niggas at the end of the day, or be cool being single, or start eating pussy. Like, you got 3 options. It's just whichever one you decide you want to do.
Mom,
Or there are also some of those men who are okay with, they don't want all the different options.
Absolutely. I'm one of them. You know how fucking lazy I am? I don't have time to have 5, 6 women because of dead ass. It's like I'm dating all 5 of y'all, and Miss Pearl is my favorite. I'm doing everything that Miss Pearl wants to do with the other 4 of y'all because I'm lazy. I'm not going to remember your birthdays. Your birthdays are all now June 5th. That's when we're celebrating birthdays that year. She's getting the Mother's Day gift. Y'all get, y'all get the, day after candy, like the February 15th, the side chick day. Y'all get candy from then. A lot of guys are like that because of the effort that it takes to deal with women in mass in large groups. I think it takes a special personality type to successfully deal with large groups of women. And there's a level of maturity and meticulousness that I just don't have. I'm a terrible liar. I'm gonna get caught lying. I share my location, so next thing I know,
that's so cute. Share your location.
Don't make it gay. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm with a woman.
Look at Willie being vulnerable, telling that he shared his location.
Y'all think it's vulnerable because I'm lazy, but whatever. Again, so now I'm with Miss Pearl because she's my favorite. The rest of you motherfuckers outside of my bushes waiting to catch me when I leave. Like I don't have that in me. But then there are some dudes who will actually tell you, like, you know what? Listen, Miss Pearl is number 1. Toya, you number 2. On Wednesdays, when you're not on your period, BK, you number 3. Every other week that you are is Jay, and then it's Bo. Like, it's dudes that are telling women that shit. And I'm seeing it's a large number of women who are willing to accept that now because they're being told up front. And then 2, there's no deception, and the man is giving them the ability to choose.
What, Mont, man, I'm disappointed in you. Why you didn't tell Willie that he tweaking and that men's biology is not real, and that being monogamous, when you really in love, a real man don't see no other women? Why you ain't tell him that, Mark?
All I was saying is that if you end up with a man and he says that he'll commit to you, it's not you should be able to expect him to keep his word. That's all I'm saying.
Yo, I think that's fair, but I think we need to explore that because I don't think it depends on who's saying that. That's where I think the disconnect. I don't meet a lot of women who get men and feel like I'm batting out of my league. I don't meet them. You don't hear them often say, I don't know how I got him. You don't never hear that. So when you're saying, I agree, a man should be ethical, a man should be integral. If he decides to commit to her, sure. But I think she needs to understand who he may be. And if he is that dude, sweetie, you need to understand his commitment is deeper. Like Willie used the example of $100 for the broke dude. It's a significant sacrifice. Don't make it seem like you're super special. He chose you. He's doing a huge sacrificial thing. Women don't see it that way, unfortunately. That's the audacious nature. And I think we need to get some type of humility, developing in these spaces.
How do you think they should see it?
I think they need to assess the landscape on whom they're dealing with. If you know you're dealing with an above average guy, not just looks, but just measure whom he may be, what he's capable of. I think you need to, tread softly. You need to understand if he's choosing to commit to you, you can't assess the fact that you're female and, well, he's lucky to have me. No, you're also lucky to have him. And you're probably more lucky to have him. But they don't see it that way.
Yeah, I agree that you should have appreciation for the person that you're with. Because I see it the same way with a man who's with a woman who's extremely attractive. I don't think that I should operate in that relationship like that. You can have any man, but you got me. Let me just kind of kiss your feet every day for being with me. Like I don't think that's a thing, right? But I definitely do think that you should be appreciative of the person that you with.
I think appreciative is not the thing. I don't think he even means to prostrate. I do think he means you should be aware of the fact. And I'll say it in summer. Women should be understand the fact that the nigga they want can get bitches. The same way he got you, he can get another one of you. So, and unfortunately for women, it's not always like that for y'all. Because remember, we're committing, we're the ones giving you the relationship. So for y'all, it would be, well, because you fucked the nigga that had bread, because you fucked the nigga who looked good or that was a celebrity, you can probably fuck another one. And we know celebrities refer bitches to each other, so it's highly probable. But when it comes to dating one and getting married, that's just not how that shit goes for y'all. So a woman who's dating a guy who can get men, like the women who generally find attractive and desirable, she needs to be aware of that. She needs to kiss his ass. She doesn't need to let him treat her, talk to her crazy, but she does need to be aware of the man that she has and the fact that he has chosen her to commit to. That shit is again, it just mathematically speaking. This is typically why I say women are bad at math. Mathematically speaking, the niggas y'all want, bad bitches outnumber 1,000 to 1 the men that they all want. So if you're getting chose out of you're one of the 1,000 he picked to commit to by himself, you won the fucking lottery.
I agree with the second part of what you said, right? I definitely like if you like my girl know I get like she know like listen, I'm him, right? But the other side of that is like the first thing you said about a woman not being able to necessarily get another man to commit to her. I think that's because a lot of them move like they're retarded. Because it's a simple. I'm sorry, I didn't say y'all retarded. I said y'all move like it when it come. Because when it come to men, it's so easy. We so easy. We not that hard, right?
No, that's not what I meant, Mont. There are too few of you. It's a numbers game. It's just numbers and then it's proximity. I didn't even take how the bitches act. Like I didn't even take that into account. That's not what I was talking about. The fact that again, there are fewer of you than there are of them. So we're saying you like the desirable nigga, them the bad bitches. There's ways more bad bitches than there are niggas that are like literally him.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but another part of that is a lot of these guys, for whatever reason, seem to be picking from the same small pool of women.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but a lot of these guys choose to still pick that same small pool. Because think about it. I think a lot of these niggas got the same baby mom. I think like one of these girls got like 4 or 5 of these niggas. Future
explained it, and he's not even an athlete. He said because these women know the life, so they don't have to come in and run these chicks through like you're saying. I'm him indoctrination. They know what to expect. That's how some of these girls like Lauren London got kids by multiple rich celebrity niggas because these dudes date the same girls because it's like they hire like you as an employer. If you work in an industry long enough, you start hiring like y'all see the same people going like job to job. Like the same graphic designers, the same studio photographers getting booked because their names ring out. That's why. But niggas not think about this though. Like to say, not celebrity dudes with money, like the 1%ers who just got a bag. They're not like that. They're not dating the same types. They're not dating the same women. They may look the same. They may have the same aesthetic, but they're not dating the same. Me and you, M. White, JR, Trev, and True in the same circle. With all of our bags and 1,000 women, we not picking the same woman because if I know M. White done hit something already, I don't want to fuck behind my bro. If I know Trev was in a relationship with her, I'm not dating, but we don't have that extra piece, which is the celebrity.
I believe you and I believe everybody on this panel will feel that way, but for whatever reason, I'm learning so much about other niggas, right? A lot of these men in these places are dating women in proximity to them. Not me. If I was a celebrity, if I was one of these niggas, I'm going to all the small towns. I'm taking all of y'all baddest bitches. Y'all ain't never seen my bitch. That's me.
But you know what, Mont? You make a valid point. A lot of those cats are in competition amongst each other because they've went on record and said it. A lot of times it ain't really even about the girl per se. It's like another trophy.
Yeah, it ain't
like,
about the girl.
It's like go ahead.
There's some dudes. There's some dudes that are professional dick chasers. I ran into some of those people. Real shit, because they feel like if they could run behind you and hit a chick that you used to deal with, that subconsciously they feel like it could put them on your level. So you'll find some weirdos that are like that.
Girl. Like
That's a
there's
rarity.
yeah,
I think it's dysfunction. I think more people are more on the route of solid men, or more what Will's talking about, because that's like that. I think all of us here, or most of us, would think like that. Where no, I don't like to sword fight. Anybody who the bros had, I'm like away from that. It's just certain things we don't do with that. We feel differently about certain women. Like dudes might smash a chick, and let's say if we gonna share a flick or whatever. If it's a girl that you serious about, like, we're not sharing that because this could potentially be my girl or my wife or some shit. And I don't want the bros to see my wife in that fashion. But she going, she out here. It is what it is. Hey, look at this term right here. It's just different. It's levels to it. You're not gonna feel the same about every woman like that.
So like imagine me inviting all you niggas to my birthday party this year, right? And then the girl that I show up with, y'all done all fucked before. Like that shit would be weird. I don't even want to be in the same room as another nigga that done crack my girl. You know what I'm saying, she got kids. So technically, I don't want to be in the room with her baby daddy because whatever, because I know you done fuck my old lady. Like just thinking like that, right? I would never wife something that any of you niggas fuck. And I wouldn't even fuck her if I knew. For perfect example, there's people that y'all follow, right? And then they follow me. When I see that 2 or 3 of you niggas followed them, I can't follow them back now because I know you niggas are assassins. And I know the likelihood of you saying being inside that girl's walls is higher than giraffe pussy. So by default, I don't want none of y'all's old work following me. So I remove the follower. I've been like that since before I was out of the military. It's something about knowing like that somebody in my circle has been inside of my woman's jaws that bothers me. It's just I don't know, maybe I'm insecure, whatever you want to call it.
Nah, it's nothing wrong with that.
The girls who fuck friends are gonna call it insecure. That's cool, but there's too many women out here for us to be Eskimo brothers. It's way too many, and a lot of celebrities do that shit on purpose. Like, oh, I hit Chad Ocho Cinco baby mama. Oh, you too, nigga. I hit that bitch, whatever. Oh, I hit 2. You saying I hit Megan 2 cups. Like they do that because, like you said, they're dick chasers. And then it's like that group of niggas will be like, well, you fucked that bitch too? Yeah, I fucked her when we was on tour. No, I fucked her in Kansas Stadium that day. Like they have those conversations. Those aren't conversations none of us would have. All the money in the world, and we're not talking about that because we know, hey, you said you going to small towns, Trev, you probably saying go to the West Coast and go crazy. True, he gonna hit Canada, and White gonna hit South America, and I'm gonna hit the Middle East. Like there should be no overlap. None. Like there's no reason to overlap. That would be like one of y'all being on the panel right now having fucked more than one of us. The defense rests. We supposed to read that?
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
Search Shy 8731 with the $5. Trev, when does this Me Too era stop? Blake Lively, Amber Heard, Carly Russell, and Chef Mila. Me Too was meant for black men, backfired on white men. Another one? Pull up.
That's a good point.
Search Shy again. Salute to you, Brody. 87. Search Shy 8731 with the $2. Good point, Miss Pearl. Both men and women, no employees. Search Shy with the 8731 with the $2. Stefon Diggs rumored to sign with the LA Rams or the Chicago Bears.
As long as he don't sign with the Cowboys.
MC Heavy Tits. Okay. Salute to you, Miss Heavy Tits, with the 9,000 with the 499. If a dude is complaining about a woman he slept with, that's on him. If the woman is complaining about a man she slept with, that's on her. Summer Sunshine Blessings with the $2. He has more to lose. Be smarter, young man. Be smarter. MC Heavy Titties with 9,000 with the 499. What's the percentage of women that are in lesbianist couples?
I think 2/3. I think all women are 2/3 gay until it's time to eat some pussy.
What? The real answer to that is only like 2%.
then they just become a pillow princess at that point.
Yeah,
So,
because they definitely don't get ate. But when it comes time to eating something, they're like, oh no, I'm not that gay.
But why would you even have to? Why would you have to wait for a woman? One, I don't understand that.
Girl trips.
I've been on plenty of those and never.
It's better to eat by your homegirl than by a new nigga. Apparently, it's a girl with a video about this.
Wait, it's better to what?
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
One of your homegirls than by a nigga from the club. That's what she said. I don't argue with
Is somebody going to read the
letters?
super chat?
Yeah, we already did.
That was it.
They keep coming
All
up.
right, MC Heavy Titas with the 9,000 with the 999. True is speaking facts. I go from wanting it all the time to not wanting to be touched. Sit your goof ass down 4 months at a time. That's why I'm single. I give up no cheeks for months at a time. MC Heavy
Probably also
Titas,
need therapy.
9,000 with the 499.
Oh my god.
Men and women are not equal. Why do we constantly try to compare each other's struggle?
Good point.
MC Heavy Tatas with the 9,000 with the 199. Do most women get the men they want? Question.
No, never.
No.
Never. No. It's not enough.
Because they don't want to share.
Right.
I didn't get to speak on the Stefon Diggs thing real quick.
What?
I said Stefon Diggs.
Yeah, you got
Sporting Goods.
Pause.
Pause. Sporting Goods. What was I saying? So with me, it's having a BBL disqualifies you from about 90% of things that I would hire a person for.
That nigga.
But like, yeah, I think having a BBL disqualifies you from about 90% of jobs I could hire somebody for. Like, you can't be my chef and have a BBL. You can't be my doctor and have a BBL. You can't be my kid's teacher and have a BBL. You can't be my mechanic and have a BBL. It disqualifies you from most. Yeah,
Why?
You said why?
Yeah, why?
I just look at you weird. Like I don't know.
Are you questioning the personal decision of what would make someone enhance their butt?
Yeah, what do you think? What are your interests? Like, what do you like?
But what if you didn't even know if they did or not? What if they
you had
looked
a
like they had a
BBL,
normal ass and prior to it was super flat, so that helped them?
But if you got a BBL and I can tell you have it, I'm gonna assume you put Old Bay and most of the stuff you're gonna cook me, and I don't want it.
I would be so intrigued as to come across a mechanic that has a BBL.
With a BBL.
I would want to know like what happened in her life to lead her here. Like, is this what you decide to do?
There's actually a couple content creators who did that shit, believe it or not.
Yeah, I don't mind the BBS. What kills me is like they don't do shit to their faces. Like everybody goes and gets ass and titties, doesn't do shit to their face. Like it's like they intend on being bent over forever. So that's the question I have. But you way better than me. You said you got a BBL. You can't be attractive and work for me. Can't be attractive to be my teacher. Like if my
you said attractive.
Do you find BBLs attractive, Mont?
Oh no,
I think it's a difference with teachers because
no, it's
to
not.
have a BBL as a teacher is wild, in my opinion.
If you got a BBL and you're a stripper,
BBLs.
if you got a BBL and you're a stripper, you will not get a dollar out of me. I swear to God.
Wait
you
a
won't
minute.
get a quarter out of don't touch my quarter if it fall.
Hey, if you throw a quarter in the strip club, you my type of nigga, Mont. So, Toy, let me ask you a question. Did you do realize that teachers are one of the more promiscuous professions?
They up there. They're in the top 10 now.
Wait, why?
Because they fuck a lot of niggas. I don't know. I don't report.
Right behind real estate agents, flight attendants.
No, those make sense. Real estate agents, your
military wives.
How does teachers? Wait. So
Flight
if flight attendants and like bartenders and bottle girls make sense, how does a teacher not make sense?
Because they have exposure to new people constantly. Teachers are with children. On a daily basis. They usually have the same classes. So your level of interacting with strangers is just way more limited in your working hours. So I just was like, well, where are they doing these things?
Watch this, BK. Here's a life lesson for you. Fellas, how many of you guys have ever had a teacher that you know you could crack with no effort. Just
Don't lie. Yo, wait. Y'all, who said they had a teacher they know they could crack? No effort.
every one of you niggas have.
I don't believe nobody but in white. I ain't gonna hold you.
That's 1 out of 5. Only one
it's not-
person raised his
that's the
hand.
thing, right? He's the only one that spoke up. Everybody else said it with our faces. Like, there's no point. And then there's too many studies showing that teachers are promiscuous. Like, you can't, teachers, nurses, flight attendants, stewardess, bottle girls, they happen to have a lot of whores that are in them. And
But
Why didn't
I'm
y'all do it?
confused on why a teacher can't have a BBL. Now, there's a difference with
Let's talk
somebody
about it.
dressing provocatively. That's like saying somebody can't have implants.
That was a topic on the show. One of the teachers
Here's
that
my
had
thing, right?
we had a topic about it. All the girls were like, no, she shouldn't be dressed like that. No, it's inappropriate for school. That's why teachers shouldn't have BBLs.
That was my point. Because in my
What about a man who gets a penis implant?
Stop it.
We're not
Stop
seeing
it.
that. That's not something that's seen. When a woman goes to get a BBL, 9 times out of 10 you can see it. It's very apparent.
Yeah, but we're talking
clear.
about. Listen, we're talking about. But if a teacher has has her breasts done, right, and she has low cut shirts and her titties are out, that's inappropriate dressing. So just because a person has a BBL doesn't mean that there's a difference between the BBL and inappropriate dressing.
It does. And this is why. You can be fully covered if you have the right body type. Certain outfits are still inappropriate because they highlight and show your body. So a woman with her titties done and her ass, she'd have on a long coat so she can cover up some of those curves. Because what y'all do forget is what y'all as female teachers, since the majority are women, these boys are looking at y'all. And when you have that build, those boys are not, they don't want to hear 9 times 9 is fucking 81. They want to hear 62 plus 7 is 69. Because they looking at y'all like they want to fuck because they got little teenage hormones, and now you up here with all that ass. When you erase the board, now you damn near making your ass cheeks clap. Like, y'all forget what y'all are doing. Y'all are in front of impressionable kids.
I agree.
Yeah,
And that's the
So
reason why I think it's ridiculous.
Dressing appropriately, because what if somebody is naturally built like that? You got to be able to know how to, when I would go to the jails and I'm working with the young, from 18 to 24-year-olds, I know that I can't wear just regular leggings, or I got to be careful where I'm wearing jeans. I have to wear a longer jacket.
That's because you're in jail. I'm not trying to be funny, but any woman goes to jail unless she's.
But what I'm saying is, you got to know whether it's there or I'm working with other kids or boys in a certain section. There's certain things that you have to make sure you dress appropriately. You're not going to wear gray sweatpants if you're over here talking in front of a group of teen girls.
So Jay, if you got a BBL and you can hide it enough so that I don't notice it, cool. If I never see it, I can't judge you, right? However,
put a jacket on.
if you, for the most part, I don't want my daughters looking at that and being intrigued about, that they can get that. I don't want them to ever want to think that that's something that they want to do. I don't want my son to like girls like that. I honestly don't, because I don't like girls like that, and I would prefer my son to like natural women because I love women. I love all the imperfections that women have. And when a woman does that to her body, personally, for me, like, especially as an ass man, like, personally, I can't stand it.
And kids,
I agree with that. I mean, I don't have a BBL.
And I can't sit here and tell these little girls that they're perfect the way they are if I'm going out and enhancing my own body.
And you're that little girl's role model. So they're going to they spend more time with you than they do their parents a lot of the time. So if you're in there with your ass done, bat wing lashes, all that bullshit, everything, the BBL baddie starter kit, that's what those girls are going to think they're supposed to look like. Because then they see how the janitor stops by the room every 15 minutes, seeing if you need a Pepsi, see if you need your trash taken out. They see how the principal stop by. They see that all the coaches know your name. And like every one of us that play sports know a teacher like this. They see it. So that's why you don't need to, provoke the line, so to speak. But you better than me because, again, you can't be attractive and work for me. Every year that my son goes to school, I go to that first meeting because I want to see his teacher. And in that meeting, I decide one of two things. If his mother's the primary point of contact or if I am. I've done well that I've been the primary point of contact because all of his teachers have been old, ugly women. Great. However, if he stays and goes to the 5th grade, there is a 5th grade teacher at his school that I am fairly certain has an OnlyFans or has been on there before. If that ends up being his teacher, you will not see me set foot on that campus. That's all his mom now. Oh my God! It's the simple fact is this: as promiscuous as teachers are, once they get around the right kids' dad, like the kids' dads who play sports or the kids' dads, they are all going because they don't have the financial means to not. They go in there and get teacher salaries and then start getting around like the kids' dads who got money and they act different. It's the same thing about coaches. Anytime you coach kids sports, the moms are always friendly, especially if you look like something. How do I? Because I know what she looks like. That's how I know. I know what she looks like. She should not be teaching. Like, I feel like she can make a lot more money selling feet pics and shit. But since she is teaching, I'm going to make sure that I keep an eye on the situation. And then two, I know what my son likes. So like my son will be her best student. I don't want him in there. I want him to go over with the little short old lady who's going to teach him about, geography and shit. Not the one that's going to teach about, the kinetics of ass. That's just not what I want for my kid. La, la. Again, at some point in time, I have to interact with these people. I like interacting with ugly women. You know why? It's easier. It's safe. You can just be regular. Y'all have regular conversations. And you don't have to think they want nothing from you because they know they're ugly and they know you don't deal with ugly women. So y'all having a genuine conversation. Like, I think that shit is fire. So Mont don't want bitches with BBLs. You can't be cute and work for me. Like, my chef got to be built like Precious. Like, and blacker. Like, with the crispy shit in the back of her neck. As long as the food tastes good, like, she just can't be fine. Like, that Stefon Diggs shit would never work.
We was talking about that the other night. That because I was saying, like, if you're too attractive, honestly, I don't think you should be a teacher. I was just saying, if you're too attractive, yeah, like, think about it, right? Women who are a certain type of attractive, for the most part, they don't work too long anyway, right? It's just like, I remember I was talking to this guy who owned this like real prestigious store in Philly that sell glasses, right? And one time he had came in one of my stores that I was working at, and he was like, "Yo, you want to sell glasses?" I'm like, no, I never thought about it, but like, I thought you'd be having all the bad chicks working for you. He said, yeah, but I don't do that no more because they be at work for a little while. Next thing you know, they snatched up with some guy who came in to buy some $1,000 glasses or whatever, and they left me. So I want somebody who's going to build and grow with me, but they all end up out of here.
Yeah, if you fine and you're a teacher, like that, to me, you just too scared to use what you got to get what you want in life, or whatever Ronnie said in Players Club. Like,
that is the most bogus. That's so bogus.
That is so ridiculous. That is so ridiculous.
A person can't help the way they look. So you're telling me just because somebody's outer, they're so naturally, look at Bo's face. Yeah. They so naturally pretty or attractive that they don't have any goals or want to help people in life or have any aspirations that they can't.
Go find a job.
No, bullshit.
I can tell you why. The same reason why I didn't try to go to the NBA, right? Like, I went to college. Because I'm short. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm not going to. Listen. If I go play basketball with M. White and that nigga dunks on me, I want to fight him now. So I knew that. So the same way that I knew that I didn't have the body type to go to the NBA, damn sure after WNBA, I stuck with what I was good at and what I was built for. If you were built like that, you were not built to be a teacher. Like, you're not built to be in front of impressionable kids who are trying to figure out, damn, how come every time she goes and erases a math problem, my pants get tight?
Why can't she work at a girls' school?
Oh, that's cool. Again, y'all are 2/3 gay until it's time to eat pussy. Like, what are you talking about?
No, it's not. We still get attention from girl students too. Like, it's
exactly. So thank you for proving.
It's still a little different.
If you are super attractive, you shouldn't be a teacher. I have no argument. That's a hill I'll die on. Like, I'm no problem with that one.
You ain't gonna see a baddie with a BBL being a teacher is what he's trying to say.
We talking about attractive women, not baddies.
No, we have teachers who get BBLs. I know teachers who have BBLs. It was a frenzy thing. Like, all of a sudden it's something to do.
Yeah, everybody was getting those BBLs with that PPP money.
Pretty much, yeah.
That ain't nothing new. That's why you start seeing the mommy makeovers is $7,000 when it used to be $20. Or like, you can go get the gumdrop titties for, $10 a piece. Back then, now you can get them for $2,500 on a payment plan. Like, what are we talking?
Also, I don't know why this doesn't sound flattering to women
I
that
think
you
y'all
can
doing
be.
this on purpose at
Hold
this
on,
point. I swear to God, I think y'all doing this on purpose.
Bo,
I
just say
swear y'all be
something. Don't
doing
let
it on
everybody just
purpose.
know. Go
Hold on,
ahead,
real
Bo.
quick,
Go ahead,
real
Bo.
quick,
Go ahead.
real
Go ahead,
quick.
Bo. Everybody keep.
Because
Everybody
every
keep.
time I
Go
try to
ahead.
say something, people like, well, all right then. And I'm like, well, fine. Because y'all know I ain't finna talk over you. Y'all know I'm not going to do it. Sweet Jesus.
Just interject and be like, hey, excuse
I
me.
be trying. But y'all just talk all over. And I just be like, all right, y'all
Bo,
got it. Y'all
Bo.
know I'm not like, well, and I'm just going to keep talking over you. I just be like, you got it.
Bo,
Get your air horn and press the button.
Bo, can I drop one more point for you to reply to before you reply? So I don't know why this isn't flattering for women to believe that you can be so attractive, right? That you can just be distracting to everybody. It just is what it is. Like, we're men. You can be so beautiful that whether you like it or not, the entire room is distracted by you. You can't choose it. It is what it is. From a male teacher, my chest gonna be hot every time I'm around you, right? Every time I'm around you at the water, my chest gonna get hot. I don't know why. I'm gonna get. It just is what it is.
Arrest me,
You're
daddy.
distracting to everybody. You know, I don't know what to tell you. So it's just you making a sacrifice and be like, you know what? I'm too beautiful to be here. I need to be in a different type of place because this workplace is just not. It's not built to accommodate my beauty. It just is what it is.
And wonder why the male PTA participation is higher than
Y'all crushing Bo, man. Just let her go. Let her go.
I almost forgot what I was going to say. Now, I widely disagree. I mean, I widely agree with you guys as far as like the whole BBL issue, the inappropriate dress as teachers. None of that is, you won't get no pushback from me there. But my question is, if BBLs are like not okay, then why is it that so many men are so attracted? Because women wouldn't get it if men weren't attracted to it. So I think that you all are in the minority and not in the majority, because that's just what I think. But am I wrong?
Yes. It's not that BBLs aren't okay. They're just not our first choice. And you can't correlate or expect us to have the same standard from what we want to be with the women we want to fuck. Because again, as a woman, you do not know what it's like to hit a chick from the back with a big ass. Like, that's why we all want our woman to have one. Like, it's just something that we cannot explain to you in words. And you know me to have a really large vocabulary. I cannot convey to you what it is like to be behind. Like, it's just,
I could try
like being at the beach, in a bakery, and then like at all the same fucking time. This shit is crazy.
To me, it's like
And what you want to try?
it's like jumping into a very fluffy cloud.
No, thank you. Please, can we move on? No, don't do that,
All right.
please.
You're such a good girl.
All right. All right. I got a different
Discretion.
question for y'all. I got a different question for y'all. So, does success really change dating, or just reveal what people always wanted? Does success really change dating, or just reveal what people always wanted?
You got that
I
from
think it only
ChatGPT.
reveals what people wanted, because you truly don't know a person until they have access to everything that they've never had before. So I don't know you until you have a variety of women that you could choose from if you just solid for me. So to what Willie was saying, if you ain't really got that access, it's proximity, right? But if you have everything in the world and you still remain solid and virtuous, that's literally who you are. But if the success and the money and the attention, fame, and whatever makes you change up, you weren't solid to begin with. So I think your mask just slipped once you got a chance to do everything that you were restricted to do initially. So I don't think it changed. It just reveals exactly who you were, that you were trying to hide and you never had access or the ability to be. Alan.
Mom, you want to try?
Write that question down in the back for me, or say it again to me.
Pause.
I said right.
Whoa, what the
Write
hell?
that down from the back.
Yo, bro, what the hell?
Get your head in the game.
From the back, G. Like,
Hey, God,
Your head in the game. You think about fluffy booty.
yo.
I'm not thinking about that, but I heard what he said.
Say the question again, Trev.
Does success really change dating, or just reveal what people always wanted?
I think it changes dating for you because I think the way you go about it has to be different, especially if you're a man or woman. Because if you're a man, you have things to lose, right? And you have women who are going to once they see certain things and hear certain things, that's going to probably change what they want from you, right? And it can prevent you from having a genuine connection if that person turns to like wanting that. And as a woman, I think. Oh, what you about to say? As a woman, I think being successful definitely changes the way men perceive you. So you have to change the way like it's certain things you probably have to steer clear from saying because he might lump you into a box. So I think it changes it for both sides.
I mean, look at Diddy. Shit, you see what that nigga did when he got money? It revealed that he was a fucking freak.
Yeah.
R. Kelly, Bill Cosby. They like, oh shit, I got some money now. So you mean I can have a bitch pay me to put another man's cum on her titty so I can lick it off? Like, that is wild. Like, it reveals who you are. Like, what you do when you have everything is the truest account of your character you'll ever have. Like, while you're poor,
All right, so
you wouldn't do shit. Like,
I would
still while they're poor, but
I want y'all to look at this from the angle of where it's like, all right, so let's say, like, if we were going to use the Diddy example, do you think if he didn't get rich that he would still think about that? Or do you think that he may have exhausted so many different types of scenarios that it developed into something that was just, one great perversion?
I think that so this is a two-part answer, right? I think that some people wealth and success is determined by their sexual desires. So like if someone had no access to women, that would drive them to become more successful. So it would push them into a position where they could have that access. Likely if they have a specific pervert, like a specific kink, that would even drive them further so that they can achieve something probably can only be achieved with power, right? So they could get the power to be able to get whatever that urge that they have, like them Epstein people and shit. They try and get to certain levels so that they can operate in that way. I think with Diddy, I think he probably is in a scenario where, he was in a scenario where he experienced so much that regular sex and regular stuff started to become like just it no longer did it. It no longer would get him off. It no longer excited him. He was having sex with beautiful women night and day, as many as he wanted, and he kept probably trying to push the envelope, and he got himself in a scary position. He should have just fasted and stopped messing with anybody for a minute so he could reset and then go back to enjoying regular women. But yeah, I think that was a result of him just having too much of everything he wanted. And then after a while, he probably got burnt out and then he wanted to try something new.
I don't think that's true though. Diddy specifically, I think he's always been a freak. I think he was raised by someone who was also, because his mother's involvement gave some interesting insight to how he grew up, right? The whole, Cassie has this whole thing about something that the mom had made her do that was sexually awkward. And so it kind of gave was he raised like this? And unfortunately, I think money allowed him to expand. I think R. Kelly might be the instance of another person who always had some perverse thing.
So I was gonna throw this in there. So when you said that, it made me think of one last part of the scenario, right? Mm-hmm. R. Kelly R. Kelly admitted, or it was I guess they did it in the documentary. They was talking about how he was abused as a child by his sister or whatever.
Oh.
Diddy didn't have a widespread accusation, but I remember that there was a priest at the high school that did it. Like it was like a major thing going on. I think it was at a boarding school or something, and they never talked about. Right? So a lot of like those type of kids can come from sexual abuse. So I think that may have also contributed to it. But I still hold the position that he started off one way and then got bored too, including that perversion that he might have been fighting or whatever. That's my position. That's my theory.
I don't know, because Diddy's perversion went way left, involving other men, not just women. So
yeah, I think it's just like your taste, the same way that your like culinary taste change when you make more money. You start eating better places, you get exposed to new food, and you travel, you get to see new things. I think it's the same thing with money. Like, oh, okay, well, I can afford to have these women, let me do these things to them now. And or even in those circles, you meet women who just like organically do it. Like I think it's just it's more revealing than anything else, because it's like a guy who likes cars. At some point, he's driven all the cars he can, so he has to find something else. So he goes to motorcycles. He gets tired of motorcycles, so you can afford them all, do all that shit. So now he wants to learn how to fly. Same thing.
So I guess that means you're more leaning towards like the actual success changing it, because he probably never would have developed into that type of person in the first place.
Would have never thought about flying if he hadn't been driving cars that go 230 miles an hour for the past 10 years of his life. Like there's no more excitement there. So he has to, when you're chasing that dragon, you got to keep elevating. So he went from cars to motorcycles, and then it's a plane. It's a natural progression.
So he went from regular women to celebrity women to men.
No, he was with men before that. There are people.
Oh, he was with men before that.
He was assumed to have been with men. You remember Wendy Williams been saying that he was.
I don't know. I'm never gonna put being gay on the dude
in the 90s.
Yeah, unless I got some hard evidence, I really don't.
So I'm not gonna put that on his jacket.
Unless I know, because that's a tough one.
I do know what the average net worth of everyone who went to Epstein's Island was, so I would just I can see it.
Okay, so that's another one. In those cases, right? The depravity is cannibalism and all types of crazy stuff. Do you think that's a result of rich changing you, or they were
power dynamic?
Yeah, that's a power dynamic. That's people getting money and knowing that they have power over you and exercising that. Simple.
You say Ellen was going crazy at the human body part buffet.
Oh.
I get a
So that's what. So then, do you think that it's the same thing as far as what? I mean, I can see how, like, let's say you can date a certain type of woman. Like most of us are not trying to get supermodels. That's like not even on our radar. If one fell in our lap, we're like, all right, cool. But unless you were able to get to that type of money and status and everything, that's not what you're dating, right? Most of us are not going to try to date multiple women at once. But if you get to a level of success, then you might start throwing that into your conversations, because now you feel like you have the leverage and the ability to be able to do it. So I can see how the money itself or success itself would alter what type of person you are. I don't know if you're really that, because are you really that? If you never had the opportunity and it never was part of your flow, like you never thought to do that until you reach the success.
And you don't meet the people, like again, the people you're around. Like, hey, Trev, you know what? Have you ever tried, a person? Like, it's proximity. It's, again, you get around people that have, we'll say more sophisticated taste than what you're used to, and they tend to expose you to those things. Let's look at an average nigga. He hang out with his rich friends, that night, the quality of women he's going to see is not what his usual experience. So that might motivate him to go get some money now because he wants to be around a bunch of baddies.
Damn. What happened, Pearl? What was you thinking?
I just feel sorry for people who just are so susceptible to peer pressure and just, I gotta go out and have this and that to get access to trash bags, like plastic bags. Like, what are we talking about here? But hey, y'all got it. I don't see the purpose in doing that. If you're solid, you're gonna be solid, regardless of if you're broke or you're rich. What are we talking about? That's what makes you unsolid. If the money changes you, just like with a woman, if a woman completely is truly in love with you, it doesn't matter the amount of money you have. If her attraction, admiration, and love for you rises with your amount of money, then I mean she's a cute prostitute. I don't understand. She's exchanging herself with your value. So if you didn't have any money, it would be less than. Again, she's not solid. So it's the same thing with men and women. This isn't a gender specific thing. This is a human thing. Either you're solid or you're not. Don't matter what your resources are, who's around, you're not going to change. You're not going to switch up. Now I understand us going around other people who are in what we would consider a more elevated situation in terms of materialism, and they may help you to acquire certain tastes and things like that. But I can be around a bunch of crackheads. That ain't going to make me want to smoke the pipe. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I can be around whoever I want to be around and take in whatever experiences that I want to. You're either solid or you're not. I land.
That's like we saying we take somebody to a Michelin star restaurant, and then because they don't necessarily eat it regularly, they're gonna ask for chicken wings and chicken tenders. That's not typically what happens.
That's not what I'm saying. I just said you can open my eyes up to a widened experience, and that's great. That's awesome. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to change who I am as you expose me to this lifestyle. Like when you mentioned about the women, like now I'm about to go out and stress myself out to get all this money to acquire these women that you expose me to, which we all know ain't shit but cute prostitutes. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm still going to be my solid self and continue on my journey. Thanks for showing me and opening my eyes up to these type of women and let me know they don't change regardless of my money range. But thank you.
Well, who said
I ain't gonna act strange. Thank you. I appreciate the invitation to the situation. But y'all can go on with the conversation. I land.
I don't think nobody who said they was gonna have somebody go stress themselves out to go make some money. That's not what we'll say.
Obviously, if he doesn't have the money, right, and you are at a higher financial position, he has to work harder to get that money. If he didn't, he would already have the money. So obviously he's not in that position. So if it was available to him to have those streams of income, again, we won't be having this conversation. So at some point there would be some stress, there would be some worry, there would be concern because he has to elevate himself to a position that he may not even have the resources acquired to do. So I land.
No, that's just effort. That's not stress.
Okay, Willie.
If
it's effort. I got
you. Make more money than me, and you inspire me to make more money.
I can see.
Like the fuck, what are we talking about? Like,
I got you. I can see you got it. Let's move on. I got you.
I think women don't experience women like we experience women, and it could be the same vice versa. We don't experience men the way y'all experience men. But I think that women can be so unpredictable because I've experienced women's like their feelings can be so strong that it can overpower reality. And it can happen, right? And it happens a lot. So when a woman gets into a situation with a man and he has a certain amount of money, even though she can be solid from the beginning and she can love you so much, I do think that when she gets into a state where she feels like it's over or she gets into a certain mood, she can start to calculate how she can make her exit and how she can survive without you. I just think that's like it's a lot of women's nature to do that.
I don't disagree with you, Mont. But when you say that you said something can overpower her reality. What was it?
Feelings.
Oh, her feelings overpowers the reality. What do you mean by that?
So I think women can experience a moment and the way that they felt will be what they think happened.
Okay.
Yeah. So if a woman is experiencing something and she's feeling a certain type of way,
Welcome back, Mont. Welcome back.
It's going to be so powerful to you, right? That it just takes over you, and how you feel is just everything.
Okay.
Because women are loyal
That
to their
sounds like
emotions.
delusion.
But I'm just saying women are typically, because women are more emotional. So a lot of times that's all I think men just think that women are just only emotional, but if you understand that men and women are wired differently, then you should know where it's coming from. And then a woman requires a certain type of demeanor from a man to be able to bring them out of that high emotion.
I think that when we're talking about
Mm-hmm.
success, I think there's an amplifier that comes with success, but I think it depends on who holds the success. Men typically are amplified by their status and their money. So they're essentially experiencing what most women experience on a regular basis. Because y'all amplifiers, just your existence, your beauty, you don't necessarily need to have status, generally speaking. I think that successful women, however, their experience approaching dating is way different because now they believe that they have a dual amplifier. They're already a woman. They may be somewhat attractive and they got success. So they're like, it's like a double whammy of sort. And they typically struggle more because one, they're woman. Now they're the successful woman and they don't typically know how to now, I guess, operate on a normal plane because the success is amplified on what she already has just as a biological advantage. Men while out, whether y'all like them or not, I like Myron Gaines' example at a candy store. And he explains that, when the man gets to this access, because that's not every dude's experience, he go a little crazy. Typically, what you don't see is the guys that have been maybe getting women since they were 16, 18, whatever. Money or not, like Miss Pearl's saying, he's solid because you become desensitized. Like most dudes up here will tell you, most women are generally the same. The attractive, not attractive, the nature is the same. You get accustomed to it. So now she's just pretty. But I promise you, she's going to get on your nerve. Whether she a strong 9 or a 10, you're going to want to push her outside because that's just in the woman. But every dude, most dudes assume women are great and nice and soft and all this stuff. So if they get some money, their first thing is, I want to create these fantasies, these experiences, these lavish exchanges. And it just changes their reach. It's just an amplifier. At least that's my opinion.
Pearl, you don't realize how different from normal women that you are. Like even the way that you answer questions, the way that you listen is completely different from the average woman. Like you laser focus on the question, you answer the question. You don't got time for all the fluff and all that type of stuff. Like you are a lot different from the typical woman. Like typical women live in it's just they live on a different plane than you.
The Lululand. That's why I don't understand.
Yeah.
Just keep it real with me. We have to have an understanding. Like we're adults here. Like I don't care about what you think I care about in terms of like your materialism. Because again, and I thank you for the compliment. I do. Thank you. But here's the thing. Like I don't mind status. Like it's obvious that people have to work. That some of us are going to be in better positions than others. That's just a hierarchy. That's just life. That's not what I'm talking about, though. I don't like how certain people will say because I've acquired a certain amount of money, I have a status, or I'm in a certain position. They conflict that with their character and how they treat people and how they operate internally. Like, I'm not going to allow your money to overshadow the fact that you're not a good person, whether it's a man or a woman. I'm not going to let that overshadow the fact that you don't treat people well. That means you're not going to value me. So I'm just going to be a pretty face that's in the place. Like, it's confusing to me. So again, I understand all the talking points. I always do. I see the nonsense in it because what people want and they expect, and then what they actually put out, and then the results they get, that shit don't ever match. So I just be wondering, like, when people just gonna keep it real and come down from off of these high horses and just keep it real. Like, relationships are not boring, but they're not always this fantasy, like everything is just gonna be great all the time, and we're never gonna be stressed, like True was saying, like you're never going to get on somebody's nerve, like the man is not going to get on somebody's nerves, like everything, like I said before, because of that social media, everything is sensationalized and everybody wants to, stop, pause, let me get the best pose, let me get the best position, let me get the best rebuttal, let me get the best statement, the best background, and the whole time it's fake as hell. So I like I say, I don't do the platform thing. I'm not a podcaster, just a real woman having real conversations. I land.
All right, so I do have a different question for y'all. So, do boundaries get blurry around successful men?
Wait, what?
You say boundaries or I thought you said batteries, but that didn't sound right. So did you say
Boundaries?
boundaries?
No, no boundaries. Do boundaries get blurry around successful men?
Absolutely.
Is a pig's pussy pork? Like what?
Absolutely.
Yes.
If you got enough money, the
what-
woman
so
will
what do
blur
you-
her line.
If you got enough,
Do you approve of it? Do you approve of it? Do you think it's valid?
Absolutely
Do you
not. I
think
told you
that-
that's cute prostitution. What are we talking about? Like, no, absolutely not. That's what boundaries are for. Like, if I'm saying I want a solid guy, I don't care how much money he has, and then Willie's like, I'm a millionaire, and then I draw my draws. Like, why did I even say that at all? Like, what was the point of me saying that? So I just crossed the boundary. If that was my boundary or my expectation, I allowed his money to overshadow that. That wasn't a real boundary. That
What
just
if I
sounded just
said-
like if you were saying, I want a real woman, and then a cute girl come in with a fat ass and you do what you do with her. Your real boundary ain't you want real women. You just want something to do. You see what I'm saying? Like, if it's a boundary, you're gonna stand on it because it's rooted in your belief in your conviction system. But if it's not, and again, it's up for grabs, once again, you ain't solid.
What if I said I was a solid guy and a millionaire?
Hey.
Got all the options.
Well, you're solid. You're solid. That you said it first, solid. You just all got the money, but then no, you're solid. So what are we talking about? You're giving me exactly what I want. Why would I not value that?
I can see a reason why it would be good though for like a woman's boundaries to get blurry because to understand like for it to have your boundaries flexed, like so like your boundary could be I'm not gonna deal with a dude who I don't know can pay all his own bills or is financially stable, and then you see a dude that obviously is financially stable. Your boundary is gonna be a little different. Your barrier to entry is going to be lower than it would be for someone who's not. That there's nothing wrong with that. I think the only time that it's like going to be a negative thing is when a woman's boundaries are, I'm not having sex till I get married, but she gets with a nigga with money and she's like, I gotta fuck him to keep him. Like when she changes, like when she does that, I think that's a bad thing. But you know what I'm saying? I don't date guys that are Cowboys fans, but then she meet a nigga that's a Cowboys fan, but checks the rest of the boxes and got bread. I don't have an issue with her flexing her boundaries on that.
I was also going to say, I think it depends on whose boundary.
Well, there's only one boundary that matters. Yeah, there's only one boundary because your boundary for you. You can't enforce boundaries on someone else. You can support your boundaries against somebody else's trespass. For anything else outside of you, it's a rule. It's not a boundary. That's a lot of people think that boundaries are you can set boundaries for other people. You can't.
I agree with that.
Hey Willie, can you give me an example of somebody trying to set a boundary on somebody else?
Yeah, you're not gonna take your ass outside because if you go outside, I'm gonna be mad at you and it's gonna make me feel this way. That's not their boundary. That's you trying to set your expectation and rule on them. Hey, now you saying I'm not gonna go outside because if I go outside, I'm going to feel away. That's a boundary. Sorry, I was not expected it.
It's almost like the whole control thing. Like you get a person a choice.
Yeah. All right. Boundaries are about what you're not going to do. Rules about what you're not going to tolerate or allow other people to do. So
I guess my question would be to the ladies, why would a overtly successful man excite you more than someone who may be solid, like Miss Pearl's phrase of the night? Why would a solid man not excite you with the same amount of, I guess, vibration? Like, what is it about the just, the placating and the visibles, the verification? Oh, he's good. What does that do for y'all?
It's the known good.
A solid guy would honestly, Quay, because I'm always on. A solid guy would excite me. But if we speaking like what mine was speaking for majority of the women, then we know why the other guy excites her, because it's the money. It's, what can he do for me? It's the benefit that comes along with it. If he's just solid, she like, well, shit, that's for free. Like, what can I get for me? Like, no, bitch, you getting him? He's solid. Because then when you get the rich guy, then he's not valuing you. You're disposable. He got a million ones of you. Now you're not feeling the same way. Now you wish you had the solid guy. You just wish he had a little bit more money. So it's like, that's why I said you got to be solid first. The only reason that other guy is exciting to her is because he has money and she thinks she could benefit from that. And just like Willie and the rest of the guys were saying, she's going to try to use her coochie for currency and hopefully get some. But that guy that's just solid, she ain't going to be able to play them games like that. Because once again, he's solid. He can read through her, money or not. The other guy, he going to play the game because he a trick. That's what they do.
You know how hard it is to get for a man to stay solid when he's getting money? Like it is for guys, they'll tell you. But it's not easy for most niggas to start when they start getting money. It is hard for them to stay solid.
Is that because you get a lot of prostitutes that's in your face willing to sell themselves for easy because they're not willing to take that time to get to know you? They just willing to throw it at you and you just get overwhelmed with the temptation. You just got to take some down.
No,
is it okay? I was just trying to help me figure it out. I mean, there's probably some good women in between, but you getting a slew of some low-hanging fruit.
Pearl, if you ever decide to transition into being a man, you would know full-fledged. That's not why. Typically, what we see is because they don't know better. Look, when guys get money, like their boundaries and their morals and their code is based on where they are now, and they have a very hard time translating those same morals, boundaries, and ethics to who they are, who they will be then. Most people don't have the foresight to think, you know what? For me, right? I always said that I would never date white women, right? Always said that. From when I was a kid, the last thing my grandmother said to me before she passed was, don't you grow up and marry one of them white bitches. So understanding that, right? It's just not been a thing for me. So now, I was regular back then. When they say he get on and leave your ass for a white girl, I've learned and understand why that happens sometimes. I still can't do it. So I was able to stay solid on that. However, I also said that I would never ever want to be one of these niggas with like these big crazy ass dogs just because I got money, can afford it, right? When I was younger, I'm a pit bull guy. That is not the dog I have now. So it's just like there's certain things that are just very, very difficult. You know what I'm saying? Core being, fuck with who I fuck with. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff, that's not what I'm talking about, even though it does happen. However, it's difficult to say where you're going, what you won't do or will do until you're in that position to do or not do that thing. I could say I love my woman to death while I'm a regular, and I'll never cheat on her. I make $10 million. Now I think I might need to fuck 2 or 3 more bitches. Like, it's just, she just got to deal with it. Like, it's hard for people to do that. So that's why I say it's difficult for some folks to stay solid when, before they were ready to end.
Well, Willie, one of my best friends in college, like I told you, I did the reform cheater thing, right? And he never had a girlfriend. So he used to be like, man, I'll never cheat once I fall in love and I get a girlfriend. And I don't see how you did this. He used to tell me this shit every night because we'll just be doing like in college, right? We'll be getting it in. Mm-hmm. He was like, I just don't see how you would be up to this. I'm gonna love her so much and I'll never operate like this. When we got out of school, his ass finally decided to get a girlfriend. 3 months in, this nigga got caught cheating. He calls me sick as hell, like she left me because I cheated. I was just looking at the phone like, nigga, you tried to shame me every fucking day of college about being a cheater, and look at your ass now. I was there for him, but people don't know until they get in that situation. And I wasn't a cheater when he was telling me. I was the one that wasn't cheating and coaching him about not cheating. Like, yeah, man, you just gotta kind of be honest about things and then move in a way that's, you don't know until you know.
Well, here's the thing, though.
Go ahead, Becky. Go ahead.
No, but here's the thing, right? People, to your point, like to say things, but yet they still don't have the boundaries or the practice to set it up, right? It's just like broke people saying, well, if I would have had $100,000, I would have got rich. Okay. And I always tell people, let's use Trump for an example, even though people hate him, whatever. He flipped the 100,000 that his dad gave him to 100 million.
Well, his dad gave him 2 million.
His dad, he gave him a whole lot more.
Yeah, he gave him 2 million.
Yeah, his dad gave him 2 million.
He multiplied it by how much, though?
After he lost that shit, he didn't just give him that. He gave him his connections and his status and his name, and those are what made the moves. I would say he was savvy and developed the character to be able to negotiate. However, what helped him even more than the money
His
was
name.
the circles that he was already in, the access to the people who already were in the position to multiply his money, because he didn't do it by himself. He had to negotiate with people who were familiar based on his dad's connections.
Okay, so we'll use him as an example, right? His connections is whatever. Most people won't even invest $100 into the stock market to try to turn it into 1,000. And we got all the YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, books. They ain't gonna do it. It's $100 instead of spending it on the new Jordans and putting it in the stock market. Let me see if it turned into some money long term.
You're not wrong, because the crazy part is that most people will never really run in circles of echelons. They'll never be in those rooms, and that's fine, right? But I think the part that doesn't get accounted for, mainly, I'm gonna pick on the women for a minute. I think this is where I don't think they see themselves. If y'all came from the same upbringing, the same access point, and let's say he ascends, right? His ascension is not just monetarily; it's mental, it's decorum, it's a series of things to maintain and nurture these relationships, right? If you have not gone through that same maturation, and he takes you out to Mastros, and you bugging because you like, I gotta take the leftovers home, it could look bad.
We gotta take a picture.
Yeah, because you haven't now been cultivated in the environment. It's never the money. It's what comes with money. The attitude behind it, how your word. It's so many more layers to it. And I think a lot of times that's the disconnect, is that it's not just the money. This is why you would see generally men who ascend and then now they flip the girl. Because if he had that girl for 10, 15 years, she may have refused to grow. It ain't the fact that he don't love her, respect her. She just can't elevate. And that happens more often than not. It's not the fact that this one look better, she lighter. It ain't none of that. A lot of times is that she has not understood what, easily put, she can only see him for who he's always been to her, not now understanding who he is to everybody else.
And she still treats him like who he was. And then to give you ladies some grace, you know, because I feel like some of y'all are going to date a dude with money at some point in your life. She still reminds him of where he used to be. She still reminds him of all the struggle. She reminds him of all the negative things. And I'm not saying like she says, remember when we didn't have this? When he looks at her, he remembers that. He remembers those things. So add that into conjunction with the fact that, you know, he's a different person now. He has to comport himself in a different manner. She may not be there. And then, like you said, she's going to treat him like he's still that same dude. Like, because she's like, well, because I was here from the beginning, I don't have to treat you differently or look at you in a different light just because everybody else does. But this is the one thing that kills that whole argument about when dudes get on and leave themselves, you know, the whole Kanye get a white chick. Unfortunately, in mass, that group of women does understand this one specific thing at a higher degree than black women do in mass. So that's why you see a lot of athletes dating white girls. You hear them talk about it. These girls get with these niggas in college. They're doing homework. They're meal prepping for him. They're actually taking care of his, like, any type of social media he has. Like, these girls are playing the long game, even if it's just for the money. But they are doing the things that make his life easier because of what they were taught to do. They were taught to do that for their guy. Of course, they picked the big black dude that's 6'10" and going to the league. However, that's why these guys pick a lot. You see so many of these guys picking those women. But then when you see the guys who don't and who haven't picked a white girl, they're telling you that their black or Latina girlfriends are doing those same things for them. So the commonality is it's not the race, it's the treatment. And it's unfortunate that sometimes successful black men feel that they have to, or not feel, but they have more options going outside of their race because now you qualify for those women to desire you outside of just your black skin and dick. You qualify for their affections, and they're guys where it's simple. We're going to go with the path of least resistance. We're like electricity. So the first woman that we come across that treats us well, makes us feel good, and does something different that we're not used to, and also gives us the reverence of where we are in life. Yeah, it's how they end up getting married and shit. Like, you think Patrick Mahomes' wife, like, if he wasn't so loyal and she didn't do all of that stuff, he would still be with her? like Russell Wilson's first wife? Like it's.
Yeah, I think so.
I know he's married twice.
Huh?
Yeah,
No.
I think that the way like waiting on a man hand and foot, catering to him, investing in him, and some of them women like financially invest in the men while they're like going through college. Maybe not so much now that NILs exist, but like when I was like in school, they like would come with bags and like be taking care of some of these dudes like that would deal with them off their father's dime or whatever. And that's kind of hard to compete with when like culturally it's kind of looked down on and seeing like you a dummy if you like let a man kind of get away with shit or don't like what they'll call it is getting ran over. Like at the time, women would be like, "Oh, you getting ran over," but the other girls, you know, that he reverencing wouldn't view that as that. They just would, like Hillary Clinton, for example. She probably one of the most powerful women in the world. Bill Clinton fell victim to the desires of being of a man, and instead of her standing on what women would like to call like business, breaking up with him, taking him for half, publicly humiliating him, dragging him through the mud, making like accusations of everything wrong he did, she swallowed that and stayed with that man and stood beside him at press conferences. Like
But that was for her political gain, though. I mean, that's a little different. I would use Kobe's wife maybe as a better example, possibly, as someone who didn't actually gain anything from staying with her philandering husband. But it seems like it was more out of love and dedication.
It's always a game in a relationship with the man that's that powerful. So even though she might have got a outright $1 million or multi-million-dollar ring, and she might have got political capital and able to push forward, the result of the way women view both of them was still the same as far as the pushback they got from women for staying with the man that was, you know, outright like that philanderer, you know, they got caught cheating on them. They just didn't care.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? So so I know you said it's not really, the competition is a lot different, right? So would you recommend that to your daughter? Like if it was your daughter, would you recommend her to do what you were just saying, how some of these women are? They're standing behind their man, they're, you know, supporting them financially, they're, you know, riding out with them.
If my daughter was in a Kobe wife situation or Hillary Clinton situation,
Or neither one of them, but just
I would I'm saying for both, because they both had kids, they both had families. Yeah, I would say.
But what if they didn't have any kids? What if she was dating somebody, you know, younger, and she was still, you know, like we're talking about the white women, how they're, you know, they're standing behind their man and packing them lunch and, you know, just catering to them. Would you recommend your daughter be like that with somebody?
Yes.
What, they like packing lunch and catering to them?
Well,
Absolutely.
just, you know, just all of that.
If you saying like treatment where she, hell yeah. They get that shit modeled. Like they kind of do that shit now because they be trying to like be like their mom. Like that's like they learn that shit in the house. That's kind of like.
But I just know a lot of times, like I feel like a lot of times
I wouldn't convince my girl. I wouldn't convince my daughters to be the type of woman that just like is irate or angry or feels like she needs to get equal and even with men and all. Like I'm not.
But what if she's supporting a man? But what I'm saying is, what if she's supporting a man and like, you know, it's okay. I'll, you know, sure, I have this, I don't know, 10K, whatever. I'll help invest in your business and things like that. Like, or is your mindset as like, you know, I want my daughter for a man to come in there, be able to take care of her and provide for her, as opposed to them build something from.
The risk is worth the risk is worth the reward. Of course, I would have no issue with my daughter being with like the college athlete and packing his lunch, rubbing his feet, doing all those things, letting him drive her car. I have no issue with that because I would make sure she understood that if you do this, doesn't mean that this is going to happen. However, if it does happen, it's definitely going to happen. Like I would explain that to her because nothing is guaranteed. But I don't have an issue with. I would hope that no man has an issue with raising his daughter to be the kind of wife that he would have wanted for himself, the kind of woman that he knows that men respect and genuinely admire. Because the women who do those things This is like the 10th time now. You don't see them having problems with men. You don't. The ones that tell you they do, that claim they do, all right, that's cool, right? But you do not see these types of women in mass involved in any type of bullshit. They out the way, kept and put up, because they are doing what it takes to make that man say, you know what, she is valuable, she is integral to my life and my success. So let me protect her while I provide for her. You just don't see it. And when you see these women who have an issue with the girls being like that, it's because they're not. And the fact that they're not reflects in their current like lifestyle. They're typically single, overfucked, and old.
So Jay, my daughter was in school, right? And there was some little girls. They had created a group called the Baddies. They were like, "Oh, we baddies, like, you know, we bad. We the pretty girls in school or whatever." So my daughter was like, these two girls, they didn't want to let her join the group. I was like, join the group? She was like, yeah, they don't try and invite me. I'm like, you should be happy because you don't understand what a baddie is. I put the little show on the shoulder. I'm like, this is what this baddie shit is. She was just sitting there like, really? I was like, yeah. The relationship that you see me and your mom have, they're not growing up looking at that. They looking at something completely different. So you don't even want to be associated with that word. Then, like, yeah.
Because most of them don't have that solid foundation. I just know a lot of guys who I see even like men who have raised their daughters to, you know, don't depend on any man. Make sure, you know, you get X, Y, and Z, and you know, even our boy Jay, right? I know that's a little different. But yeah, so it's like they're raised to like make sure, you know, you don't let a man take this from you and that from you. And so then it's like as they get older, then they have that harshness about them. So it's a little hard to be soft.
So Jay, what I would teach my daughter, what I'm teaching them is servant leadership, like to seek probably a man that places the family before himself. And I'm modeling that. So they can see me just sacrificing any type of sacrifice, anything that needs to be done. They see me being the one that just begrudgingly make sure it get done. So they understand like that the man is going to bring and offer things. Like they get affection and love. They're not getting abused or talk crazy to, or they self-esteem lowered, or them not being encouraged, or them not being support. Like they getting all the things that if their husband acted exactly the way I am with my children, as far as support and just being there for them, they would be happy, and I'd be happy to have my children with a man in that order.
Plus, you got to understand, we're actually going to be in the vetting process. We have like these type of fathers. Yes, we're involved deeply in the vetting process, and basically the values that we've instilled in them from the beginning are going to carry over to the point where they understand what type of man is acceptable. They will know what type of men to reject just based on what the foundation that we've already provided for them. So they're not going to be doing that for Pookie and Ray Ray. That's not what's happening. It's not going to be these dudes out here doing bullshit, trapping, and we're going to tell him to be rubbing his feet and nurturing dude and make sure, go ahead and buy this key for him so he can build on that. We're not doing that, right? We're looking for what the foundation we've set. They're going to be after virtuous men. And to be honest, they won't have to go digging and searching for these types of men. Those men will naturally be attracted to them based on the work that we've already put in.
Yeah, now you guys laid so much foundation that collective thoughts. So I appreciate that. But now, Jay, your question is a legitimate one. I hear a lot of women who seem to struggle with that, and it is an unfortunate thing that most of the women of the community, Black and brown people, they don't see the example. So like what Marcus is saying, what Trev is saying, yo, it's gold. The reality is what I think happens is that a lot of young ladies are just not guarded. They don't have no covering. So they meet a guy, a young man, and they're excited and they do their natural feminine thing, but they cast their pearls before swine, not understanding that you got to know who to bet on. Like it ain't every dude. And if you have not gotten that type of guidance, you won't have the discernment. So I get you. It makes perfect sense. It's not wrong. We got to dispel this attitude that women think it's wrong to invest in men. That's wrong. Your whole existence is here. to invest in a man? What the heck you want a relationship for if you're not willing to bring your talents, your resources, your gifts, and so on and so forth? But we're taught here, especially in America and especially in our communities, no, you get all you can from him and get as much as you can without giving anything up. That's a false equivalency. It ain't never gonna work like that. And you can see the evidence. Just walk outside. All these heifers are single. And I'll land.
2 points that I caught was when you said that a lot of guys are teaching their daughters to, not depend on a man. All of that stuff is because they saw their mom not be able to depend on a man. That's why they teach their daughters that. Because if their father was around, they wouldn't have that. That wouldn't be what their worldview was. That wouldn't be what they passed down to their daughters. And again, that's what happens when women raise men. So those women are cooked. What I think should happen is that, like, damn, if you look at your life and are honest, not online, just internally, say, do I have what I want out of my life based on the decisions that I've made? The answer for most people is no. So to teach your children to do the same shit that you did is to damn them to being as unhappy and unfulfilled as you are. Like, you can't break a cycle by telling somebody else to do the same shit. So if you don't have a man and you know what your issues are with keeping man, you don't have to tell it. We all, privately, maybe you was too much of a hoe for one, or maybe you're saying you wasn't enough of a hoe for another. Like, what your issues are with men. Like, you didn't listen, you were too emotional, you weren't able to be logical. Like, you were delusional enough to think that how you feel was exactly what happened and that was what the facts were based off of. Where you suck at. Make sure your kids don't suck at that if you actually want them to have some semblance or chance of success. Because if you suck at shit, like, okay, well, I got 10 kids by 9 niggas. Tell your daughter not to do that. That would probably help. Or, if you sold a little pussy and now niggas don't take you serious, make sure your daughter doesn't do that. It's not.
I think that goes back to what Miss Pearl was saying, as far as like being solid, no matter what, like, better, you do better. And so, like, being a solid person, like, I feel like that's going to get you, regardless of what resources you have, that's going to get you so far in life. And you're going to be able to be that person where it's like you're attracting these people.
I think the resources absolutely matter. And that's another thing why I don't think poor people should have kids. Resources matter because resources exponentially extend your proximity and your reach.
I don't mean that. I don't mean like the resources don't matter. I'm just saying you being solid, even without resources, you're still going to.
Common sense stuff, though. Like, that's common sense. You want your kid to have great character and be solid. I don't, like, there's no point to even talk about that. I would assume.
Yeah, but that's the problem. That's what a lot of people are lacking. Great character.
And that's fair. However, I'll give you guys benefit of the doubt to not have the issue. So that's what I'm talking to. None of us are raising our kids to not be solid. We're raising our kids to be the best version of solid that we can. That's especially the fathers up here. Like, I can't speak on being a mom, but as a dad, I have a huge issue with dads who don't impart things to their children that help them be successful in life. I'm the guy that says if your kids aren't ready to go out into the world and be an adult at 18, you failed as a parent. Because if you don't set your child up to be what the world will treat them as at the time the world will start treating them as that thing, when you knew for the entire 18 years of their life that was going to be the case, you are a shitty parent and you failed your children. Because now you have an 18-year-old who's not developed 18-year-old, like an 18-year-old mentally. He's not prepared for the responsibility of being an adult. He's not prepared for the real world, but you're going to send him out into it. So, like, you chose to fail your child that way. So I would assume that we all try not to do that. I would think that's the problem. But then when we look at these people and these kids, you can tell some of us weren't ready to be adults when we were 18. Some of us were adults when we were 16 and 15, living on our own. That's the problem. Like, we don't fix what we know is fucked up. With my kids, like, my dad yelled a lot. I don't yell at my kids. Like, I talk to them. Like, I knew that, like, it's one of these books said, be the father that you wish you had, right? And I think my father is my hero. Like, he's the reason why I am where I am and I am who I am. But I know he wasn't perfect. The things that he fixed that I could fix with my children, I have. Most people don't do that. Most people just repeat what their parents did. Eat what I say eat. If you don't eat your food, you're not getting up. You're going to eat what I cook. All of those things, right, that sounded cute in the 80s, 90s, 70s, for everybody, whatever, how know people's ages, that doesn't work now. So fix those things and people aren't fixing them. especially in the black community. Like we're still a gynocentric community, saying so everything, you know, the mom calls, the dad says, listen to your mother. Unfortunately, that can be some of the worst fucking advice you can ever tell your child. To listen to your mother. Because you say, do what she says, be specific. But again, when you're doing that, like you tell, like that boy's gonna think, okay, well, my dad said listen to my mom. So everything that my mom does or says is accurate. Being in her feelings. Letting her emotions control the whole temper of the house. I mean, the temperature of the home. Like that boy now looks at his mom as his number one go-to, even with an active father. And that's a problem. Like, and then with women, Michael Beasley just said it. Women don't know how to let the hero be the hero. Like they will kill the hero based off of how they feel. They will say, well, okay, well, I did this, but your daddy didn't do that. Like based on how they feel, they will do that to their own kids. So, and dads, we specialize in keeping the hero the hero. That's why we say, listen to your mom. Like you're saying, do what she says, be obedient. That's why we do that. And a lot of moms don't, which is how we had the kids the way we have them now. Like, look at the kids in school. Like, Pearl, you're a teacher. You see some of the kids that you have to deal with on a regular basis. I see the ones that I coach. And I'm like, damn, like, ugh.
All right. Bro, you kind of animated with the faces tonight. I don't know. We've been trying to read what's going on in your head. It's like everybody on some F shit.
Nice try. Look, I try to engage the best that I can. Like everything is not going to warrant a response, but that's just me. Like I'm animated. Some things I agree with, some things I completely don't agree with. But that's just me. I just like to be cutesy with it. I'm not gonna come on mic and go back and forth with people because I'm not trying to convince, convert, or condemn. Sometimes I'm just gonna be quiet and let people talk and how they can have it.
Okay.
But y'all made some good points. If I had to say anything before we like close out and end of the night, I do think it's extremely valuable to hold your man down and to cater to him and to make that investment. But in terms of like men, a lot of the mistakes that I see men do, like they just accept any woman that's invested in them. If she's like of a different race. And I think sometimes when you guys are not familiar with them and the way that they operate, for example, I've come up around white, Latino, Asian women my whole life. For men, it's like you all don't experience them until you are adults and you don't realize a lot of the things that they do behind closed doors are not just because they love you and they care for you. You're literally an investment. And once that investment runs out, they're going to go to the next person and they always cheat with their rates. And I'm not saying that that's everyone. I'm not saying that that's all of them. I'm not saying that y'all don't find good women that support you all. And I'm not saying that it's not a lot of black women who don't be on top of their shit and they drop the ball. Cool. But a lot of that whole we're going to other women of different races because they're submissive and they're more compliant. A lot of the times that's just the role that they're playing. It's a performance because they know that's what you're lacking. They studied you. They know exactly what you need and they're going to be that. Doesn't mean that they actually care for you. They're just waiting for that return on what they know you're going to do, which is provide. Now, like I said, I ain't saying every woman does that, but I know there are a lot of majority of those cases that do that because they result in divorces and the women leave them and it just don't work out. Like I say, do what you're going to do and be with who you're going to be with. Just have discernment with who you're getting with and understand who they are, especially if you have not learned them and you have not studied them the way they've learned and studied you. You want one thing and they want completely something different. So just try to make it work. Eileen.
I appreciate what you said, Miss Pearl. You make some valid points. Man, we should have introduced that like an hour ago. But I think sometimes the women of our community sometimes overly assume that is what it is, comparable to the fact that, okay, I'll say it like this. I think even amongst the community, there's an act that happens. There's the reality of the woman you're dealing with when she's dealing with you. And that same woman around her sisters and her friends has a completely different energy. The performative part is not what men have a problem with, generally speaking. The performance is okay. as long as it's beneficial and it's consistent. But somehow, some way amongst the community, there's this ideal that I got to keep it real. Your real is combative. Your real is strenuous. So there needs to be a balance, in my opinion, that you figure out how to perform better. I'm not saying the women of the other communities aren't invested or trying to hitch their, their hooks to the winner. I'm not saying that. I think women across all metrics do that. But there's something about our community specifically that assume, not dealing with women being a man, that they're only doing this because they want something. But I'm like, all women want something. So why is it amongst home? We're home. Why my something gotta be more strenuous with you? You're supposed to understand more. And that's not the reality for most brothers. I think a lot of times brothers just have low standards. They don't know what good treatment is, and they deal with it because they're comfortable dealing with it. They're comfortable being called out their name, belittled, second guessed, all of these things. This is what I've seen. So I think that when they are introduced or maybe have that interaction, sometimes it is a little bit like, oh, thing. Like, most brothers don't hear that they're beautiful. Like, but another woman from another race will tell you that no problem and won't minimize it the moment she gives you a compliment. Comparable to, in our community, you have a business, it's a little business. You got a promotion, it's a little promotion. Like we do that amongst each other, don't even realize it. It's damaging. And I'll
those undercover haters though, like that's the ironic joke, and like that's what somebody call you, like Hollywood. Oh, you got your little job, you doing your little podcast, like you a big hater. Like we know those people. Like when they say that, you not my person no more. Like I'm cutting you out. Like we don't continue with you because you again, you're going to look out your little house. It's like what? My little job, my little promotion. Like those people, and I get what you're saying. It's that crab syndrome. Like you see me coming up now, it's my little business. You see what I'm saying?
Well, it's
like I said
it's
before,
mostly. I'm sorry. It's mostly there's a competition. There's a competition amongst us, and we need to still sort that out. I can overwhelmingly tell you, I don't see that amongst most demographics. They're okay being the woman. They're okay being second, third, behind the background, as long as they're on the winning team. I don't see that overwhelmingly in our community. There's contention for whatever reason.
But that's because I think there's a difference in other communities. They don't have that mentality against each other either. Like it's not about a woman and man thing. It's literally how, unfortunately, in the Black community, there is more competitiveness, whether it's a man or a woman. And that just translates inside of relationships because it's the crab in the barrel. And a lot of other cultures, they don't have that competitiveness, period. A rich white man will see another rich white man and say, oh, how can we be rich white men and get money? Hispanics would be like, oh, I do lawns and you do pools. Every time I get a new lawn, I'll recommend you as the pool guy. Like Jewish people and Asian people have created whole communities, banks, like, daycares, whatever, and funnel the money around, right? In the Black community, unfortunately, we lost that. I forget when, but we lost it, right? The Black dollar ain't circulating but so long. And I feel like that mentality of
100 years ago,
really not trying to uphold each other, unfortunately, is just pervasive, and it extends into romantic relations, but it doesn't even start there. It starts way before that, when kids are in school and you trying to make the smart kid seem stupid, but because he's smart and his shoes ain't nice, right? It starts way before that, and unfortunately, it just perpetuates itself into romantic relationships. And yeah, I think it's one of the biggest holdbacks of the Black community that some people are trying to get over, like now, but it's a slow process. Unfortunately, like we really haven't realized it's detrimental on so many levels.
Well, I just think a lot of brothers, unfortunately, still currently they can't even firmly say, yo, I'm the man, I'm the boss, if he wants to use that vernacular without it being, you what? You within the community. So you're right, Becky. There's other dynamics, but amongst the other races, like you're saying, it is understood. It's not competitive. There's no reason to be competitive. He's man, you woman. Y'all function is supposed to be intertwined. In our community, it's not like that. I have to continue to convince you I'm man, and then convince you again, and then convince you again. That's the problem, in my opinion. And it shouldn't be that way, but I'll land.
I think there was a breakdown. Like, we know there was also a breakdown, right? With a lot of different, programs, and then the things that happened in the Black community, after integration, where it's like there was deficits in the Black community, and I don't think people have really gotten over that. We always hear about single mothers and absent fathers, and it's one of those things. Like, growing up, I lived in a neighborhood, where most of the people had their Black fathers, but knew a lot of people who didn't. And it's one of those things that because of that, you get bitter mothers who were mad that they had to raise these kids by themselves because of whatever situations. And then they perpetuated that hatred toward the father to the children. And now it tumbles down. So it's like, and then you had kids who were mad. Like, unfortunately, I've known a few people who went to go have relationships with their dads, didn't turn out too well. So it's so, and then that anger, people harbor it, trauma. Everyone should go get therapy, right? And as a community, we need a lot of it. No offense to us, but we do. And it's like, you see that, right? Because you've been hurt by your father, or you've seen your mother hurt by her father. Now you're in the position where you're hurting a person, even if that person is a solid person. To your point, it's a little promotion or a little business, when that's a big thing, because you are a Black person creating Black wealth, trying to perpetuate Black jobs. A lot of times people hire people in proximity, and you're trying to build Black families, and you're trying to better the Black community. So it's, unfortunate. It is something that we as a community definitely have to work on.
Go ahead, and why you want to say something?
Yeah. Let me see. So, I think that you all should give the Black community a little bit more grace, because white men started the white manosphere. They were complaining about their women. So to isolate it and say the Black community as if we just in an isolated bubble, the ones that's just doing it. In a modern society in America, when people get freedom, the Indian families, second generation, be complaining about. You see the boy Akash Singh or whatever his name is.
Jesus.
I don't know if y'all know who that is.
Yep.
His woman is dragging him through the mud right now, and that's they were even what's it called? Arranged marriage, I believe, right? Wasn't that an arranged marriage?
I don't think it was arranged, but
I think it was arranged.
I think so, and they were both allegedly.
They were virgins. I do know
virgins.
that they were virgins.
Yeah,
to
they
each
were
other.
allegedly virgins.
She said she wanted the girl to, say if she take it up the ass, it don't count, because that story she told about that party, I'm like, hell, yeah.
Yeah, so
that's why I said allegedly.
What I will say is, we don't have the financial success or the wealth built as some other communities for various reasons. But I think we probably one of the few communities that outwardly every last person you talk to, whether they have a business or not, be talking about. As soon as I get some money, I'm gonna we need to buy. Like, I don't hear other people saying I need to buy white. We need to stay within the white community. Like, when people attack a Black man and call him a GER, and we had formed like Voltron and try and get on business communally against that person. You know what I'm saying? Like the brawl shit. Motherfuckers was swimming through lakes and shit, jumping up from under bridges to come fight. They had nothing to do with the situation. They just seen a Black man getting jumped and a nigga threw his hat up and they ran to his aid. I think we probably should like give ourselves some more grace and not like hold other people in this. And that's not to say we don't have things we need to work on and fix, because 100% there's leaps and bounds of improvement that need to be made. And we ideally want to see ourselves at the top of everything, which is why we kind of do the comparative analysis. But while we do that, let's not hoist anyone else above us in that manner. And I'm not saying y'all doing that. I'm just saying in general when we have these discussions, so we can And the second point I wanted to make was if you are choosing to impress your friends versus your spouse, it's a great chance your ass gonna be single or divorced. when I was doing the most like kicking it and cheating and shit, a lot of that had to do with me hanging out with my homies as opposed to prioritizing my woman or vis-a-vis a family. And I would put myself in situations because I would prefer to be like one of the things that was gonna keep it real with their guys versus the woman I was dating at the time. For whatever, you know, reason, it was the way I kind of viewed it, and the reframing of that allowed me to exist in a space where there's no real reason for me to have a lot of conflict and issues. Because one, if you got something important to say, I'm gonna listen to it. Two, my focal point is trying to do what's best for us. So how can you really ever argue with me about that shit? Like, you know exactly what my North Star is guiding me. Like, all right, how do we stay together, win, and wiggle through whatever situation as a family? That is going to lead to you not having a whole lot of conflict. But you get to choose. You can have best friends that's going to always have your back, and you overlook your family, your spouse for your friends, and care more about how your friends feel about your partner, male or female, or you buckle down and focus on your family and make that, or your wife, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, however you form that relationship and make that shit an impenetrable force, and y'all work together, and outside forces can't work against you as long as it's within healthy, positive love. So that would be my statement.
I mean, the truth is some of these people be looking at other folks because they're not getting in the house. So they don't really know how to even facilitate it where they're bringing structure and order within the house. So that's why they may go looking outside, because it doesn't exist in the home. So you need to be focused. You still got to focus on the home and figure out how can I get what I'm looking for within my wife or husband versus outsiders. And that may be just because of the foundation. You probably just didn't figure it out until later. And so now you find yourself in a situation, which that's one of the things you got to try to figure out. But some people don't want to go through that struggle. So it's easy to just exit or run, or I'm not dealing with this. But then they realize that they keep repeating the same thing over and over again, because you're going to have structure and order in these relationships and marriages. But some people just want to resist it, I guess.
That's true. And I think a lot of people don't understand how, oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if there's a lag. I think a lot of people just aren't mentally and emotionally mature enough to even understand like where they are at that moment, which is why, as you get older, you start to realize there's certain things that I just want like that. Guys realize like, having all the ass in the world is not worth it. Like, let me be a solid person. Women, they want that family and that structure. Well, that's what we should anyway. So I just think that it comes time with growth, and, you grow through what you go through. You start to see like how things are empty. You're out there ripping and running the streets, and it becomes empty. And I think at the end of the day, a lot of times people want to feel needed and wanted and loved, and have somebody there when they're growing old, somebody to help wipe their butt or whatever the case is. That forehead, I can't.
Random, I want to just highlight something else about our community a lot of people may not know. But David Harold Blackwell, he was a pioneer in game theory and a mathematician. This is a black man who pioneered the modern DNA structure from which the probabilities and statistics in which artificial intelligence is based upon. So when y'all using ChatGPT and Gemini and all these things, remember it was a black man that was very fundamental and instrumental in creating those things. David Blackwell, and you gained the chipsets, the AMD, what is it, i9, i5, i7. They're called Blackwell chips, I believe, and that's based off of being named after him. So if you didn't know that, that's something you all should know and be proud of.
Nah, I didn't know that. I'm looking out on the facts. But to close out, but before we do, one of the things I came across as well, which may be to help some of you guys out there, is, and I've dealt with women, so I've often seen women duplicate what they see other women do when it comes to trying to please their man. They may do nice gestures, or they may be a certain type of submissive way, but you really got to pay attention to what that man is really asking for, because you can do some great things and it doesn't take away, because people always counter and say, well, I've done this for you. This is what I do to you. But it may be some things that he's specifically looking for and need from you that you are not doing. So you have to pay attention to each person on an individual level. Those things are all good, but sometimes it goes deeper, and he may not even need all of that. He may be real simple, but if you're not doing what he's asking for, it could be just one little thing that just really will prevent y'all from growing. Pay attention to that and lean into that while continue to do everything else. So if you're not really paying attention and you're just doing what you want to do, because this is how you've been doing all your relationships, or this is what you've been watching these podcasts and watching these reality shows, and this is what they do, figure out what that person needs and then see if you can follow that order, because that's going to be the only order that really matters at the end of the day. We get to the super chat. Just one last super chat. Crazy Wrestling 199. Pearl looks pretty, but she never talks. Why? LOL. Calling you out. I want to thank everybody that's tuned in tonight, in the audience, in the chat, as well as the people that's just watching without the interaction. I want to give a special thanks to the panel for their amazing perspectives. The people that has dropped off already, thank you guys. Enjoy your weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And if you are celebrating it, salute to you guys. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Y'all be safe. And thank you guys for the constant support. We love you, and we are out.